All right, should be on. Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome to the Sword of Truth, ISBHPK, which stands for Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. And I'm Priest Sham Shawan, and we have to
Yeah,
my left Priest Dawiyat. And we want to say Shalom, for our message is out to all the 12 tribes, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, scattered throughout the so-called Negroes, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Haitians, Jamaicans, West Indians, Argentinians, Brazilians, so-called Mexicans. This word and this message is for you. We want to say Shalom to you. You, according to the Bible, are the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
come.
So we want to say Shalom to you, which means
Shalom.
peace. And we want to go ahead and start today with just some Q&A. We have some people we're waiting on to come to class, but in the meantime, today is just about questions and answers. You know, asking questions, giving the class an opportunity to ask questions, to get answers, and for us to edify the congregation as much as possible
Come.
within our power and understanding. So we want to say shalom to Water for joining in, for listening, and we want to go ahead and start with one question that was asked that we will answer, and we'll give it like just like 2 more minutes. But write this down: is um, the question um, how long did man live? Was that the question, Amiati? Or how was the question posed?
Why don't we live as long as we used to?
Oh, there it is. Why
Oh,
the
wow.
question was, why don't we live as long as we used to? That was the question that was posed, and we want to go ahead and answer that. And so that's the question at hand. Now, we're going to read from the Bible, but we're also going to read from the Josephus as well as a historical reference, because Flavius Josephus, did a great job at notating and writing the chronicles and the history as a historian, notating the history of the Jewish people, our people, in during the time of Rome. So we're going to use both the Josephus and the Bible to answer this question. All right. So Dawiyad's going to put the topic up. Why don't we live as long as we used to? All right. So we're going to answer that question. Let me get one scripture real quick before we go there. While you go ahead and put that up. Can people in Zoom hear
Zoom
us?
land.
It's in Zoom land. Can everybody hear us loud and clear in Zoom? Okay, no problem. The water, the water. And we should be going on. We should be clear on YouTube as well. All right. So the question is, why don't we live as long as we used to? All right. So the first thing we're going to go to, of course, is how long did we live? You know, how long did the children of Israel live, or the patriarchs of the Bible, our forefathers? How long did they live? So let's go to Genesis, and we're going to start at Genesis chapter 6. All right. Matter of fact, we're going to start before Genesis 6. We're going to go just read a couple of verses in Genesis chapter 4. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, we're going to go to a couple of verses in Genesis chapter 4 just to show the longevity of the patriarchs of the Bible, our forefathers of the Bible. All right? So let's go to Genesis chapter 4. And I want you to start at, matter of fact, before we even go to 4, I mean, yeah, let's jump down to 5, Genesis chapter 5. Start at verse 1.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam.
And this book, when we read the book of Genesis, which means the beginning, the book of Genesis is the book of what? What is the book of Genesis mainly pertaining to?
Beginning.
For the beginning of what? Read it again.
This book is this is the book of the generations of Adam.
So this is showing you Adam's lineage. You know, this is Adam's lineage. This is Adam's descendancy. This is Adam's people. It's the people that descended from Adam. It's not the people that, you know, it's not anybody else, you know, because we may have a thought process of who this book was pertaining to, but it's the first man, Adam, and his seed in particular. Go ahead.
In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him.
Go ahead.
Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created.
Go ahead.
And Adam lived 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness.
So it took Adam, before he even had a child, before he even bare a seed, Adam was already what?
130 years.
So he was 130 years old before he even had a baby. Now, that may seem like, how is that possible? You know, because when we look at these histories, we look at the Bible, we ask ourselves, you know, man, how is this possible when we look at it from our perspective, 130, we don't even know anybody that's 130. We never even met somebody 130. But this man here is having his first child at 130 years old. Right? Go ahead.
And begot a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth.
Go ahead.
And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters.
Wow. So after Seth, he begat what? Sons and daughters. How many years after that? And Seth lived. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Verse 5. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years.
So 930 years. So after 130, he had his first son, right? Begotten Seth. And then after this is after Cain and Abel. So this is the third son of Adam, right? It's Cain and Abel. Of course, Cain killed Abel. Then he begat Seth. But he begat Seth at 130. After Seth, he had more children. For 800 years later, after Seth, he begat more sons and daughters. But the focus was in Seth's lineage. You know what I'm saying? The focus is on Seth, not the other sons and daughters of Adam. Go ahead. And he lived 900 and what?
30 years, and he died.
And so it shows you that even Adam lived 930 years. And maybe later we'll take the time to do like a chronology of who was still alive by the time that Noah came around. Because if I'm not mistaken, Noah was still alive to talk to Adam. He was still around and still had the opportunity to meet his great grandfather. And he was alive. He was born enough. Adam lived so long that he was still able to talk to Noah. But maybe at a later time we'll do a chronology of these men's lives to show you who was still around and who was able to talk to the first man, who still had the ability to have conversations with the first man. All right. So Adam lived how long?
930 years.
Go ahead.
And he died.
So he died after 930 years. Now, this wasn't the longest living man on the earth. So let's jump down to the man who did live the longest, which was Methuselah. Let's jump down to verse 25. Because we're not going to read all of Genesis chapter 5. Let's just jump down to,
Genesis chapter 5 and verse 25. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and begot Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begot Lamech 782 years, and begot sons and daughters.
So even Lamech was 187 years old before he even had a son, had a child. And the child was Lamech. And Lamech, after Lamech, he lived how long after Lamech? 782 years after Lamech, still making children after Lamech. Go ahead, verse 27. Genesis chapter 5, verse 27.
Verse 27. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years.
And how long? Died. And how long did Methuselah live?
969 years.
969 years. That's almost a G. That's almost 1,000 years. Yeah, you round it up. It's very only close. Like 31 year difference. What's 31 years to a man that had his first son at 187? You know what I'm saying? But not much difference than 1,000. So the question is, why don't we live as long as we used to? Now, there was a time that we were going into the 800s, the 900 years long. But why did the Most High chop that down? And that's what we're going to talk about now. That's the first question that we got in hand was why would the Most High diminish our lives so much? So from Genesis chapter 6 verse 3, we're going to go into the Josephus. We're going to go into the Josephus. And we're going to read the Josephus on page 32. We'll get page 32. It's going to be the Antiquities of the Jews, book 1, chapter 3. And we're going to start at paragraph 2. Matter of fact, read up from paragraph 2. Read sentence 74.
Antiquity of the Jews, book 1, chapter 3, sentence 74. But Noah was very uneasy at what they did, and being displeased at their conduct, persuaded them to change their dispositions and their acts for the better. But seeing that they did not yield to him, but were slaves to their wicked pleasures.
They were what?
Slaves to their wicked pleasures.
So it's showing you that as man multiplied on earth, and we know that Adam, let me go ahead and get this real quick. Second Ezra, we have to read this to kind of connect the dots real quick. Let's go to Second Ezra real quick. Let me get this real quick. Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 4. We got to go to Second Ezra chapter 4. And we're going to start at verse let's go to Second Ezra chapter 4 verse 30.
Second Ezra chapter 4 verse 30. For the grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning.
It said from the beginning, Adam made a mistake, right? From the mistake of Adam, man's life began to diminish. What mistake did Adam make? Okay, we got to go back to the history, and then we got to see what the Most High, how the Most High determined to diminish our years on earth. Because the question that was asked was, why don't we live as long as we used to, according to the Bible? Now, back in the day, we were living what, 900 years. Methuselah lived 969 years. You know, so why don't we live that long anymore? So it said that in the beginning, we're in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. Read that one more time.
For the grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning.
So Adam made a mistake. So now we got to read about the mistake of Adam. What was the mistake of Adam? Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 and start at verse 1. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3. Genesis is the first book of the Bible. Genesis chapter 3, and let's start at verse 1. Because the question that was asked was, why don't we live as long as we used to? So we got to find out why this time was cut down. Yeah, Genesis chapter 3, start at verse 1. Hold the 2nd Ezra chapter 4. Read this.
Read. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have the Most High said, ye shall...
First of all, we got to get some understanding. In the Bible, there's a lot of symbolism. So when we read the Bible, it says, and the serpent. The serpent is just a sly, it says was more subtle. It's just a sly, treacherous, wicked person. It's a person or a man that's sly or treacherous or cunning. All right. So we know that we're reading and the serpent, but we know that serpents don't talk.
Yeah, animals don't sit here and have a complete discussion with you, and then they're persuasive enough to get you to ruin your life.
Right.
That's not what animals do.
We even teach our kids that, you know, a snake hiss. You know what I'm saying? We play charades with our kids.
Con.
What, you know, when they're 2 years old, what makes this sound? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. What makes this song?
Con.
Caw, caw. What makes this song? Moo. And the kids will tell you, oh, that's a cow. You know, we know they make sounds, but they don't have conversations. So we know when we read in Genesis chapter 3, we have to get the understanding of the fact that this is not a snake, because we've been taught through different religious organizations that this was a snake talking.
And they have a picture. They draw a picture of the tree out.
Yeah.
And they got the snake right there.
Curl,
and the apple
curl.
tree.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even an apple anyway, but it's this they chose the apple. There's a snake and it's talking to Eve like this.
It's talking to Eve. Bite the forbidden fruit.
And this is one of the reasons why people don't believe the Bible, because they look at it, they take it this similitude story, and they take it literally.
Right. And they take it literally because they know it sounds like a fairy tale.
Con.
Snakes don't talk. And they never said that she ate an apple. But religions will tell us that she partook in an apple, she bit an apple, and a snake was talking to her. When you get the understanding of the Bible is written symbolically. There is a lot of symbolism in the Bible. By definition, a snake or a serpent is a man that's sly or treacherous, that's cunning. So that treacherousness is a man. That sly, cunning, treacherous person, that could also be known as a snake.
That persuader.
You know, we use this metaphorically when we say, man, you cut the grass and what?
Snakes come out.
And the snakes will show. You know, so we use this metaphorically to say that a person could inherit the attributes of a snake.
Even in wrestling. His name is Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake. You know what I'm saying? But he also had a snake too.
Yeah.
He also had a snake wrapped around his neck and trying to, you know, choke people with the snake. You know what I'm saying?
Get it away from me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but we know that was his stage moniker. That was part of his performance. That was part of the show that he was putting on. But when we read the Bible, this is in reference to a person.
Yeah.
All right? So, read that again.
From the top, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made.
Go ahead.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, have power said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
And look at the person that he came through. You know, look at the person that he was talking to. Who did this sly, treacherous person invade to first get at Adam? Who was it? It was Eve. So if you look at how even this serpent, the scripture tell us that what? A woman is what? A weaker vessel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, let me get that so we can.
It's in 2 Peter, right?
Let me make sure. If you got to get it.
1 Peter 3 and 7.
1 Peter 3 and 7. Yeah, read that.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. It says, Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge,
Go ahead.
giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel.
And so he's saying that a woman, according to the scripture, the Most High didn't make them as man. They are a little bit what? Vulnerable. They're a little bit weaker. So they need more what? They need more knowledge. They need more understanding. He said, if you got a wife, if you got a woman,
They're more easily persuaded.
they're easily persuaded. You have to teach them more. You have to give them more because they're not as aware. You know, they're vulnerable. They're delicate. They need more protection. You know what I'm saying? Even in the animal kingdom, you see where the male lion protects the pride. The pride is made up of women, but the male does his job. He stands in between hyenas. He stands in between vultures. He stands in between elephants, whatever's trying, crocodiles, whatever's invading the pride. So he said that a woman, you have to look at them as a weaker vessel. They need more upbringing. If you got a daughter, you're not saying a son should be negligent or should be ignored, but a daughter you have to take more care. You have to be more watchful. You have to be more cautious with a daughter. She's more vulnerable.
They don't recover as quickly as the male child.
Right, and they're more delicate.
God.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a young deer. You know, when a young deer is born, they gotta come out running. They gotta be able to stand and walk within hours. You know what I'm saying? That's their protection. They have to stand and be able to run within about 12 hours. A deer could be born, a young doe could be born and is running within 12 hours. They have to learn how to run. Yo, they better learn how to stay in the grass and stay low. You know what I'm saying? And hide in the bush and be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because they're, at that age, they're vulnerable. Women are the same way. Not saying a woman's not strong. This is not a tear at women. This is not to demoralize women. But this is to show that the Most High didn't make the woman with the same capacity as the man. There's different. They're made with different capacities, right? He said and the way you deal with women, the way that you keep a woman aware, the way that you keep a woman up to speed, aware of danger, the way you keep her safe from invaders or persuasion. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what?
Dwell with them according to knowledge.
You got to give them more knowledge. You have to educate them more, teach them more, to heighten their sensitivity to know where danger approaches.
Awareness counts.
Yeah, because you know what you have to be careful with. Because a man will run game. And that's one thing that you gotta educate a young woman on, is the fact that, man, you know what? You gotta be aware of sly, treacherous sayings. Serpents. Sly, treacherous individuals that come with smooth talk. That comes with, hey, you know what? Here's a peace offering. You know what I'm saying? Let me take you out to dinner. Let me take you out to lunch. Let's go get something to eat. But is that his intention?
No.
But you know what? A woman will say, he likes me, he wants to feed me. It's just dinner. It's just lunch. I don't see what the big deal is.
Man, people just hungry.
They're just,
People just want to eat.
They just want to eat. It's just an invitation. It's just a house party.
God.
But you know what? But it's
a house party with all dudes.
It's a house.
That's the difference.
She don't know it's all dudes.
But that's the idea. That's not what's told. That's what's omitted.
Right. So it's omitted is the fact that mom and dad is not home, and the house party is not going to consist of any adults. All adults will be out of the house. So what is that? That already shows you what?
There's no order.
There's opportunity.
God.
That's a vulnerable situation.
God.
No parents will be in the house, and then the house parties consist of what? Drinks. Oh, just
Influence.
take a sip. Influence, wine, trash can punch, whatever it is, and then it's a bunch of dudes, and then the idea is, okay, the male is expecting something. Men don't do nothing for free.
Yeah, there's an expectation.
There's an expectation that there's going to be a favor for a favor. So this is why you have to be more cautious. And I'm not going to make it about the topic, but it's showing that a woman is more vulnerable. So they need more guidance.
And this is why the serpent came at Eve. The serpent say, "Where's Adam at? Can I talk to Adam?"
Right.
I got to talk to the guy that Most High that chose to protect the garden.
Right.
I want to speak with him.
He's not going to come. Satan is not going to come at the man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to come at the what?
To the woman, the weaker vessel.
The weaker vessel. Now, read this just to be on this topic a little bit more. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11.
Okay.
1 Corinthians chapter 11.
Yep, since we're on this point right here. Give me verse 8.
11 and 8.
11 and 8.
11 and 8. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8.
Read that.
Reads, "For the man is not of the woman."
It says what?
"For the man is not of the woman,
Go ahead.
but the woman of the man."
But the woman is of who?
Of the man.
The woman is of the man. Read on.
"Neither was the man created for the woman."
But the man wasn't created for the woman. What? The woman was created for the man, right?
God.
So it's showing you the Most High made one to support the other. So a woman is a great supporting cast. She should be a great support for a man.
Yeah.
But even though she's the support, she's a great support. The best support, the Most High obviously made a woman as a support, as a helpmeet.
It can't be two alphas.
Right.
It can't be two dominating forces. Even in nature, you can't see two dominating forces. The animals that are both dominant, all they do is fight. That's why it's something called territory. They have to establish territory. This is my territory. I dominate this 20 feet of wilderness. And you can be dominant on that direction. So the Most High made a feminine energy so that there can be camaraderie, but there can be also harmony. That's the purpose of woman and man, is for harmony. working together, accomplishing a goal together. They've done in the animal kingdom.
Right. So,
So-
go ahead.
So if the Most High established that in the animal kingdom, He also established that with men.
Okay, that's just all you want to bring up.
That's all
Okay.
I wanted to bring out.
So, read on.
Con. But for the but the woman for the man.
Right. So now, but the woman for the man. So it's showing you that there is an order. A woman is slightly made as a supporting cast for a man, but she does need more instruction. She was made as his assistant, but she wasn't given the awareness that a man has, or foresight of danger that a man has. That's why a man was made to make sure that he teaches his woman to heighten her sensitivity to make her aware of danger. That's how you bring a woman up to speed. You keep teaching her, you educate her, and you bring her up to speed of what's to come. And the tricks that not just Satan plays, but the tricks that man plays. All right? But let's go back to Genesis.
I have scripture to prove that about the beast.
Right.
You want me to start from the top?
No, that way I want to bring this out real quick.
I want to bring this out just to prove the statement I had made earlier.
Russ.
Because it was.
Yeah, we can bring out some we got
Yeah.
chairs.
Yeah, you might
Yeah.
want to go get those. Can you make that move? Yeah. But what
Yeah.
we're establishing is the Most High created nature, right? This is it right here, right? The Most High created nature and used nature as a platform to educate people. Okay, to educate people. When you're dealing with psychology, what do? They test things on animals first, and how it reacts to animals. They presume, okay, people may react the same exact way. Let's see if that's biblically. Yeah, let's see if that's biblically connected. Let's go to Job chapter 35 and verse 11. Job 35 and verse 11. Because the topic we're on right now, we're on a Q&A session, meaning questions and answers, right? We have a lot of people coming in class. Questions and
Job
answers.
chapter 35 and verse 11.
The question was, why don't we live as long as we used to live? And one of the reference points was we're going back to the beginning, back to the book of Genesis. That's the first book, right? That's the beginning of history. All right? We're going into Adam, and Adam talking to, and Eve talking to what? Dealing with a serpent.
Right.
We know when you're reading the Bible is metaphorical. It gives you similitudes. There's no such thing as an animal sitting there and having a persuasive conversation with the woman and making her make a mistake or a bad decision. So this serpent, when you go to look at the definition of serpent, the word serpent means a crafty, cunning, slick person, a person that lies, cheats, steals,
deceives.
a manipulator. So when God said the serpent was speaking to Eve, the Most High was showing a man was a manipulator and manipulating the woman. That's what the beginning of the Bible is showing you. And Shashwan was going into showing how biblically the woman is the weaker vessel and she doesn't have the protection of a wise man, a man using knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of us being men is studying this Bible, submitting to God, learning God's rules and regulations so we can protect our families. When a man's absent of the scriptures or the wisdom of God, we make bad decisions that affect our what? Our household, our lives, our ability to bring income into the home, the ability to heal wounds in our home, the ability to see people or intruders or negative people or negative influences affecting what's around us. So a man being a protector has to use the wisdom of God to protect his household because God made this world.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Now let's go to Job 35 and let's read verse 11.
Come. Job chapter 35 and verse 11.
So you read the Bible will give you stories in one instance to educate you.
Right.
Then the Bible will give you small sentences, like wise sayings, right? The Bible will give you like, if you don't work, you don't what?
Eat.
Everybody knows that, right?
Right.
That's a wise saying. So the Bible will educate us with wise sayings or to give us what? Stories.
Stories.
All right? Let's go to Job 35. Let's get a wise saying from Job that
Right.
God inspired.
Reads. Who teaches us,
Stop. Who does what?
teaches us
Read on.
more than the beasts of the earth.
Who teaches us more than the beasts of the earth? Because you have different types of animals with different natures.
Yep.
A lion's known for being what?
Fearless.
Fearless.
Bold.
Courageous.
Courageous.
He rules his dominion. So God says a righteous man is like a what? Like a lion. A righteous man should be courageous and powerful and protect and defend the people around him. Right? Then the Bible says, don't be a what? Sloth.
Or don't be a lion in your house.
Don't be a lion in your house. You know what a lion does? A lion sits there and
Roars.
he roars, he yells, he screams, "Raw! I'm the lion!"
You know what the lion
He
does
sleeps
too?
all day.
And the lion eats and go to sleep.
He eats, and goes to sleep all day. And he only up at night. The lion's only up at night.
And he sleeps in the day. He hunts. Well, he hunts too.
A little bit,
But the females do all the cooking. They do all the they do all the hunting. Man.
Yeah.
They're the ones that's doing the hunting. But if you look and watch Animal Planet or whatever, you watch the lion. He protects, and then once he gets his meal, once he gets his stomach full, he just lay down under a tree
And just chills.
and just chills.
He just ready for when the beef is on.
right,
When the beef is on, I'm ready. But other than that, I ain't doing nothing but chilling.
right.
So God said, don't be a what? Don't be a lion in your house, meaning I have to be an example in every aspect of the movement or development of my house. If I have children, as a man of wisdom, I have to be with the idea of educating the children.
Right.
If I'm about income, I got to go out there and bring income. If I got to make sure the house is clean, I have to also be the example of being cleanly.
Right.
That's the opposite of a lion. I'm just, he fights, hunts a little bit, and just does mainly chilling.
And you know what? Because we'll say that because I bring home, I go to work every day.
I'm the man.
I'm the man of the house, and I bark and I growl. I should be respected. But there's more to it than that. You know what I'm saying?
And a lion's very violent.
Right. It's a lion usually will eat the cubs. If it don't recognize them, it'll tear them in half, rip them in half, eat them. His own cub.
I didn't know it was you, son.
So he's showing
He's abusive.
But he's abusive.
He has a capacity. A male lion, when you study the nature of a male lion, he has the capacity to abuse his cubs. So God using animals as an example, because everybody's not going to be this scholar reader, but everybody lives the opportunity to go see. Everybody go outside right now and see a squirrel, see a bird, see. Hopefully not see a lion.
Go to the zoo.
But you can go to the zoo. You can watch Animal Planet. You can watch the nature. So it says, don't be a lion in your house. Don't be abusive to your children. Be an example. Don't just yell and scream. That's the example the Bible's giving us. And Job, one of the wisest men and greatest men ever lived, said what? Who teaches us what?
More
More. I mean, these are great teachers. Than the what?
than the beasts of the earth.
The beast of the earth. So the lion has an example. The snake has an example. The sloth, what does he do all day? What does the sloth do all day?
Slow.
He don't move around. He just kind of just hangs out. He's very unproductive. He just chills. He eats good too, but he's
Slow
not
moving.
moving too quick. He's not very urgent. There's no urgency about a sloth.
Mhm.
And then last but not least, the ant. Solomon said, "Go to the ant, thou what?" So if I'm a lazy person, I have to study who?
The ant.
What's the ant doing all day?
Working.
All day.
They always grind. They do it. Look, I never see ant chill, bro. Ants don't chill, bro.
They sleep.
They
But
sleep.
But even at night, they hunt.
They getting it,
They getting it, bro.
and they work together as a group. They're good at teamwork.
Their teamwork, their communication is great. Because when one finds food, they communicate to the other. They drop a scent. Man, the food is over here. The next thing you know, you got a trail. You got.
They don't be eating on their own. Like, hey, don't.
Yeah, hey,
Hey, I'm almost done. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
By the way,
hey, whatever's left is that way.
exactly. Bro.
They're not selfish.
Con. So God says in the scriptures, "Who teaches us more than the beast of the earth?" Read on.
And maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven.
So the fowls of heaven talking about what? Birds.
Yep.
What do birds do? Birds fly when? South for the winter, right? Don't they fly in V formation? They fly together.
Yep.
They don't get lost. They don't like.
They make it easy on each other.
They make it. They work together.
Right.
And also, you know what? They hang out with their own kind. They
Yep.
don't be mixing with a bunch of weird other birds out there. Birds stay in their own. They stay in their
you
own
know,
group.
and when their kids get too big, they kick them out the nest.
You gotta go, huh?
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah.
Ma, send me more worms. No, you gotta go, bro.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to fly. You know what
And
I'm
they're the first up in the morning, bro. They hustling early. They're trying to get it. As soon as you wake up, you hear the birds singing. Birds are getting ready. They're on their hustle all
They say
day.
the early bird gets the what? The worm.
Worm.
You know what I'm saying?
So God uses animals as what? Inspiration to learn lessons. So now we're going to the book of Genesis and we're getting what? We're getting the lessons. The Bible says, deal with the woman according to what?
No.
Knowledge. But she was dealing with who? The serpent.
She was dealing with the serpent, and the serpent came to her because she was more vulnerable. Go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 7, verse 24. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 7, verse 24. Mm-hmm. Come. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 7, verse 24.
Ecclesiastes 7:24.
Yeah, I got you.
We got any more extra apocryphers? Yeah, we had one that was up here already. Was that yours?
Probably was mine.
That was Kwanzaa.
Yeah. And just to give y'all a quick synopsis, the first Bible was printed in the year 1611. And it had 3 sections. It had the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament. It wasn't until around 1865 that part of the Bible was taken out. So we stick to the first edition of the Bible. All right, 1611.
Yep.
That's what we're reading from.
All right, read that.
Ecclesiastes 7:24. Hast thou daughters?
He said, hast thou what?
Daughters?
It's asking a question. If you have daughters, if you are a man of the house and you have daughters, what is a man with daughters supposed to do? As a father, if you got daughters, what are you supposed to do?
Have a care of their body.
Have a what?
A care of their body.
You're supposed to watch over their what?
Body.
Their body, because a young child is developing. A young daughter develops, and when she starts developing, she starts gaining what?
Attention.
Attention. But is that good attention? Usually it's what? Usually it's bad
So
attention.
the serpent starts to sing like,
Right. Usually it's attention that a snake will come after. Usually it's
a crafty.
a crafty, cunning, sly, treacherous person. That's who it gains the attention of.
Yeah.
That's why you have to tell her or remind her what? Don't wear that. You know, if you have daughters, before you had daughters, you might have little sisters.
True.
And as a brother, and you got little sisters, you're gonna guide your sister and tell her what? Hey, I don't recommend that you put that on. Because at school, a young man knows the nature of his friends. He knows the nature of the conversation of the 8th grade group that sit at the cafeteria table. He knows the nature of the group that's around him in school and what they're talking about. What's the talk that's amongst them? What are young men always talking about?
Conquering.
Women.
Conquering women.
Women. Girls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you don't want your daughter to be the subject of one of these young men's conversation, or one of the young men's pursuits, or notches on the belt, so to speak.
Con.
Victories, so to speak.
Con.
Yeah, proverb. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, I know that one.
I know that one already. I know that one all too well. I'm very familiar with her. Yeah. You don't want that, man. That's why I said if you have a daughter, you're supposed to what?
Care for her body.
Of their body.
That's right. You gotta be watchful as a either you're a big brother or a big cousin or you're a father. You gotta be careful because there's people that come after the physical attribute, which is the body. That's a lot of people want the body. Nowadays, you got males and females pursuing a female.
Yeah. It's even more dangerous.
Is
now.
it more dangerous? Just as bad. But you still gotta be careful. But a woman is as a weaker vessel, they need more protection. And how do you protect them? You teach them more. You educate them more. You make them more aware. You make them more cautious of their surroundings. You make them more discreet about what they put on. You have to tell them what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Man, that blouse is not appropriate. You're showing yourself too much. That blouse.
But it's popular.
Yeah, it's just
popular.
It's what everybody's wearing.
Everybody's doing this.
Yeah, everybody got this on. This is you're just old fashioned.
Okay.
Am I old fashioned or am I safe? Is this old fashioned or am I protecting you? Because if it's old fashioned, then maybe I should maybe there is some virtue about it. Because you know what? You don't see grandma doing it. Our grandma's never dressed like that. Now these new grandmas,
new grandmas. It's changed.
These new grandmas,
She bad now. I still got it.
they competing. You know what I'm saying? New grandmas got heels on.
She young, but she dumb, baby.
Yeah. New grandma's only like 38.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 37, 38.
Come.
But your old grandma, I'm talking about your old grandmas. You see grandma wearing that.
Big Mama didn't have
Big Mama didn't wear that. She wore a full dress with a big old sun hat.
Yeah.
Or she kept her hair tied in a bun. You never saw her let her hair down.
She was sweet.
That was only for her husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You might see she might wear a dress with a skirt with the slip underneath, with the girdle, with the damn the stockings on, and maybe some socks. You know what I'm saying? So you would never see grandma's legs like that. You know what I'm saying? with a butterfly tattoo on the ankle, with cherries on the ankle. Hey, grandma didn't do all that.
Stamp on the back.
Yeah, with the stamp on the back. Come on, you ain't see grandma do that. So he's showing you that, you know what, you have to have more discretion when you have daughters, because this is who Satan will approach. Now let's go back to Genesis chapter 3.
Genesis
Go,
chapter 3 and verse
Okay.
3.
Yeah, read that.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Go ahead.
And the serpent said unto the woman,
And who was the serpent coming at?
the woman,
Because the woman is a weaker vessel. She needs more guidance. She needs more protection. You know, that's something that you gotta keep a hedge about your wife.
Yeah.
He that giveth the wife beginneth the what? A possession. And if it would know where there's no hedge, the possession is what?
It's
The possession
spoiled.
is spoiled. If you don't put a fence around it, you know what I'm saying? A young man, whoever, may climb through your window.
Serpent goes through the window. A snake in the house.
A snake. There's a snake in the garden, and he'll have a bucket and a ladder
God.
trying to get to your window, through your window to who? Your daughters. Or you got a snake on the job.
True.
You got somebody, you know what I'm saying, at the workplace,
saying everything they want to hear.
saying everything right. You changed your hair. You look better that way. How, you know what? What's different about something new about you? Oh, your nails are done.
There's always something new about
You
you.
know,
I like those nice those New Year's.
Yeah, you know, it's, every day he got some sweet words. Every day he got some new. You know what? You know what? You're walking different. What's wrong? Is everything okay?
And-
I'm not trying to get into your business.
Yeah.
Because you know that's your business. But I just want to make sure everything's okay. I'm just a little concerned about you.
I wouldn't have done that.
You're
I would
kind
have
of
said
quiet today.
there you
You're
go.
not
You're
talking. You're not your normal
You're right.
self. You know what? You're gonna hear all this coming from a who? A snake.
innocent looking snake.
Innocent. I come in the form of, I come in peace. I just want to make sure you're okay. You're not
Yeah.
smiling today like
Yeah.
you normally do. Not as happy. Is anything wrong? You know what? This is the underhandedness of man. This ain't no damn snake, no damn cobra.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, this ain't no damn boa
Yeah.
constrictor. This ain't no python. This is a man with other intentions.
It's a viper.
It's a viper. I have other intentions for you. I know you're married. I know you're in a relationship. But I'm still trying to win you by what? Giving you praise, acknowledgement, flattery. I'm acknowledging everything about you. Your hair, your dress code, this and this and that. Oh, you're wearing makeup today. Oh, you're not wearing makeup. Oh, you know what?
I like you both ways.
You shouldn't wear makeup. I think you look better as natural. Yeah, you look better natural. Come on, man. This is the game that people play, and this is why Satan came at the woman and not the man. Because you got to be careful. But a man will tell you what, man, that dude, you got to be careful with. Because if you understand that man, that we know we're men, so we understand men's minds.
Yeah.
99% of the time, they don't care about your well-being more than they care about your body.
They sing about it.
Right.
Your body.
Yeah.
You hear it.
Yeah.
They'll say your spirit.
Right.
Ooh, your spirit.
Right. Your virtue.
Oh, wow. I want to educate you.
or
in
your
scriptures.
your discretion. You know what I'm saying?
I want to develop you.
No, they ain't singing about that.
You don't hear those lyrics.
I want to teach you. No, they don't want. You don't hear that. You know what you hear? You look great today. It's always something physical. It's always something. You look great. You know, you look good. This and this. It's always some type of compliment.
Essential.
But the direction of the compliment is aimed at winning the person over. This is why you have daughters, you got sisters, you got a woman. You got to teach them. You got to teach them to be aware, because this is who Satan comes for. Satan comes by way of the weaker vessel. That's the backdoor approach.
He's not trying to do the hard work. He's not trying to go through all the hard labor.
No,
Let me go the easy route.
easy route, man. Even a lion don't attack a herd from the front. They ain't that smart. They know they get trampled. They'll attack a herd from the back. They'll attack a herd for the ones that are distracted. They'll attack a herd from the ones that wasn't paying attention. They're the ones that ran slow.
The ones that are rebellious.
Yeah, the one that wasn't following the crowd. Those are the ones that get eaten, because those were the easy. They pick them off because those are easy targets. And if your daughters or your wife is not educated in the scriptures, then she's an easy target. If she's not educated on what to look out for when it comes to treachery and the slyness and the snakeness of men, then she's a target.
More subtle than any beast of the field.
That's it. That's how it was a man. It wasn't no damn snake. Men are this way, but women are these days too. But read on.
ye shall not surely die.
He said all Satan had to do was tell the woman that there will be no repercussion to her decision making.
Wow.
All he did was take away the fear.
That's what this world's about, though.
Take away the fear.
God.
Won't you loosen up a little bit? You know what your mother has put into you since you was a child. You know what your grandmother put into you since you was a child. You know what's right from wrong. It's no way you can tell an adult, a young adult, that they haven't heard what they're doing is wrong. There's no way that somebody can say, well, nobody told me. You have so many different examples around you to identify right and wrong.
Facts.
But all that Satan has to do is just take away the fear of there being a repercussion, and then you fall. That's all he did. All he did was take away the repercussion. There's no repercussion to you partaking in what the Most High told you shouldn't touch.
Shalt thou surely die.
You know how people take away the fear? What's the one word that people always use to take away the fear of doing something? When you know it's damn wrong to do it. What's the one word that people always use? It's fun.
Ha.
Won't you have some fun? You're too uptight. Won't you loosen up a little bit? Why are you so afraid? Everybody does it. Everybody's doing it. It won't hurt. You'll get over it. It'll be fun.
Can't knock it till you try it.
Can't knock it till you try it.
You only live once.
You only live once.
YOLO. Yeah.
Yeah.
YOLO. You only live once. Just try it. You know what? This is the beginning of you separating from your protection. And this is the same thing that happened in Genesis. That's the same thing that happened to Eve. All Satan had to do was take away the fear of the repercussion of your decision making. And then once that fear is gone, you fall right into Satan's traps. Because there is a repercussion to sin. The wages of sin is what?
Yeah.
Death.
Death. There is a repercussion to sin. But all Satan has to do is take away the fear of it. Read on.
For God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Now
You're going to come up.
Yeah, you're going to come up.
You're going to get an advantage. Some people will violate for advantages.
Yep.
This spirit is not only surgically pulling away the fear, which is a protection mechanism, Most High created. Now I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm tempted. You're about to get a raise. You're about to get in a better position. You're about to get a blessing. I'm about to make things better for you. I'm gonna look out for you. So now there's a temptation of, if I do it, I'm going to gain something. That's another method that people get persuaded into negativity.
Right. Now let me say this. Anybody that's persuaded by negative, it just wasn't the fact that they got trapped or they got tricked or they got put in a trick bag.
God.
Anytime you're dealing with negative, you have to know that Satan can only tempt you for what's already in you. It's not that the Most High set up Eve. It wasn't that the reason why the Most High set this up for Eve to be destroyed is because he put Satan in the garden with him. It's not the Most High's fault. You know, because a lot of times we'll play the victim and we'll say, well, it wasn't my fault that I fell into this situation. It wasn't my fault that I'm doing what I do. It wasn't my fault. We don't like the responsibility of the things that we do wrong. So we'll always blame the circumstances. We'll blame the Most High. We'll blame people, but we'll never blame ourselves. Go to James chapter 1, verse 12 real quick because we got to look at what Eve is doing.
We're coming back to
We're coming back to Genesis.
right?
Yes, we are.
I got Ecclesiastes too.
Yeah, no, we do. We're going to get there too. That's in there. Yep. Go to James chapter 1 and verse 12. Book of James in the New Testament. Read that. Chapter 1 verse 12.
James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
It says, blessed is the man that what?
Endureth.
temptation.
It is the man that endures temptation. What's the word endure mean? Because we're reading the Bible, but we don't want to not pass over the understanding of the word endure. Somebody get the definition of the word endure.
definition of endure.
Somebody get that. If you have a pen and paper, write all this down so you can go back and read it later. You can go back and study it later.
Endure.
He got it. My water got it.
All right. Definition of endure: to last.
It says what?
To last.
The definition of the word endure means to what?
To last.
That means that blessed is the man that can last when people try to persuade him to do things that are not right.
True.
Even when it comes to yourself. Because you know what? We'll tell ourselves it's okay to do something. We'll tell ourselves it's not so bad. We'll tell ourselves, you know what? It's no big deal. You know what? I'm not going to suffer for this. Or, you know what? I'll get over it. Or I can control it. Like myself. I used to think back in the day, you know, when I turned 18, actually about 17, I started smoking cigarettes. And my mother caught me. And she slapped me for it. Pow! And you know what I told her in my young, stupid pride? I told my mother, I can control it better than you. You smoked for 30 years and you couldn't quit because you're weak. This is what I told my mom. I said, I'm stronger than you. I can quit when I want to quit. That's the dumbest thing I could have said out of my mouth. It is disrespectful. Because I'm stronger than you. So I control the cigarette. The cigarette don't control me. I control it. That's dumb. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid because it's made to be addictive. They purposely put chemicals in it to make me addicted to it. That's how they make money. That's how the tobacco industry makes billions and trillions of dollars. They intentionally put chemicals in it to make your body addictive to it, to where you want it more and you want it again and you want it again. My foolish pride told me that I can control it. But you can't control something that your body is telling you that you want and that you crave and that you need and that you've made an habitual habit and a part of your life every day. If I made this cigarette a part of my life morning, noon, and night, then naturally I'm going to go to it. It's a routine. I've created a routine already. But it was my stupidity that thought that I can control the nicotine. That's stupidity. You know what I'm saying? That's why it said, blessed is the man that what?
Endure.
And the definition of endure means what?
To last.
So you know what? So blessed is the man who can tell himself, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't need it. I can do without it. You know what I'm saying? That's when I get blessed. He said to endure temptation, go ahead.
To continue in the same state without perishing.
And it says who can continue in the same state without perishing. You know what? I wasn't born with a cigarette. It wasn't part of my upbringing, my nourishment. I fell victim to watching everybody else around me. You know why I started smoking? Because my first cigarette was a puff that my father left in the ashtray. I remember it like yesterday. My father went to the bathroom. He left the ashtray on the coffee table, and he had a pack of green Cool Filter Kings sitting on the ashtray. When he went to the bathroom, I said, well, why is my dad always smoking this? Let me see what it is that's so good about it. That's when I took, and my father came back from the restroom and I was choking. What did you do? Nothing. Oh, you ain't doing nothing. Why you coughing? Why you choking? And in my mind, I'm like, man, this is stupid. You know why? You know I was choking? Because your body's natural reaction is to what? To choke. That's the body's natural reaction. But with us, we don't have the ability to endure temptation. We reject wisdom and say, you know what? I'll get used to it. I'll get used to the burn. Eventually, I'll just burn my throat up and burn my damn nerves up to where I'm conditioned to handle it.
Yeah.
But all I'm doing is actually destroying the receptors that tell me to cough it up. Uh-oh. That should have been my warning right there to say what? Man, I'm never going to do this again. Just take it down. Just take it down. Yeah. It's on a hook, on a center hook. So that should have been my warning to say, you know what? I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to touch this again. But somewhere around 8 years later, I find myself in the same boat, giving myself to this.
Come.
About 8 years later. But you know what? I said to myself, I'm not going to do that no more. That was stupid. But somewhere down the line, I told myself, it's okay. It's all right.
First pack of cigarettes.
Huh?
Yeah, about that
First pack of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? And then I understood 5 years later what my mother was talking about when she told me, once you start, she said, it took me 30 years to quit smoking. She said, you're not going to have power over it like you think you do. It took me 5 years to understand her words meant gold, and that it was a warning. It was a forewarning that you may think because you're young that you can handle it. You may think that because you're young, you'll have control, but that's pride. That's foolish pride. That's a young person's pride that tells themselves, I can control this negativity. Took a long time to learn that lesson. And then by the time 5 years later, I realized I couldn't quit. Because every time I would try, it wouldn't work. Every time I try, I throw the damn cigarette out the window. Guess what I would do? By the time I get home, I go buy another pack. Then I said, okay, then I got smart. Well, I'm going to just smoke cigars. I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. Then I smoked cigars. Cigars wasn't the same. Then I said, you know what? Then I'll go down from smoking the 100s. I'll just smoke the short pack. Then I'll just carry like 3 with me. And then I'll just chew the gum. Then I'll chew the gum. Then I'm over here trying all kind of different stupid methods. Then I said, okay, well maybe because I'm drinking, and every time I drink, I smoke. So let me stop drinking. Then I stopped drinking, but I'm still smoking. Then I'm trying all these different maneuvers and tactics to try to quit, not realizing I should have never started from the beginning. Had I endured the temptation from the beginning, I would not be in the boat that I was in trying to kick it. Had I endured, or what's the definition of endure?
To last, to continue in the same state without perishing.
If I would have been, when I was 16, if I would have continued in the mentality that I was in, that I'm not gonna do it, then I could have been blessed without having to be in a situation that I could not stop. I should have never been in that situation to begin with, in the first place. But that's why it says, blessed is a man that what?
Endure temptation.
Endure temptation. Go ahead. Read on. Whoever got it. Somebody else read it, because
James
your
chapter
Bible,
1.
Verse 12. I got it.
your Bible flipped. That's why I said that.
James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation,
Go ahead.
for when he is tried.
Because when this world, which has elements and things in it, and people, it's not just the elements, it's the people in it that's
Yeah.
going to try to persuade you to do things that you shouldn't do. It said, for when he is tried, you will be tested in this world. You know, the problem is
True.
Eve failed the test. Eve failed the test. Why did Eve fail the temptation test? Hold where you at and go to Genesis chapter 3 and pick up right where in verse 5.
Okay.
No, verse 6.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 6.
Why did Eve fail this test? Read.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food,
Stop right there.
Stop.
It said, and the woman, which is talking about Eve, when Satan presented something to her that she wasn't supposed to be involved with, she said what?
saw that the tree was good for food.
This is something that I can do that helps me.
It's a benefit.
Food is nourishment. Food is a benefit. You know what people that smoke cigarettes tell themselves? It relaxes me. I use this to relax me. You know what that is? That's food that we lie to ourselves and tell us that this is okay and it's doing me some good. That's all that. This is how Eve failed the test of temptation. She told herself that it's okay. This is how she failed. But read where you at in James.
James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation,
Read on.
for when he is tried.
Because when that test come, you don't supposed to tell yourself what? That it's good. You don't tell yourself this is okay. I need this in my life. That's the worst thing you could tell yourself. This is what Eve told herself, that this is okay. This is good for me. I can do this with no repercussion. I can do this with no harm. That's the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what Eve did. She lied to herself. She said this is good for food. And what else?
And that it was pleasant to the eye.
And it feels good. It looks good. It tastes good. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, aesthetics.
It feels good, it looks good, it tastes good. And that is usually the beginning of our downfall as man and woman. Because we're too caught up into how things feel. How things make us feel. How, we get caught up in feelings and attachments that are unrighteous. That's unnecessary.
We're out of order.
That's out of order. So he said, read that in James.
James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Go ahead.
For when he is tried,
He is what?
tried,
Every man's going to be tried. Everybody. You know what? You got to prepare your children. Your children going to be, they call it peer pressure. You got to train your children because your children will get the same test that you got. And guess what? We failed a lot of those tests. And the last thing you want is your children to fail those tests from peer pressure, from individuals putting those elements. They're telling them this is okay. It's okay. Even the act of adultery, it's okay. Everybody's doing
This
it.
is sick.
It's a side chick.
And the songs make it sound
They
good
make
too.
it sound.
Every rapper, like,
Yeah.
that's like I don't got no to say in this. I don't need any more bars. Oh, I got your girl.
Yeah. Your main chick is my side chick. Yeah, that's what they rapping about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your main thing is my plaything.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
These are what rappers talking about. But anyway, it's sad as hell. But this is how you protect your kids. You don't want them to fall victim.
Destroying households is like
Hell
a
yeah.
game to me.
It's fun. Breaking down
Family structures.
people's innocency, taking people's innocency away from them. That's all they doing.
Take that ring off.
And you know what? Now they living a guilty life, a shameful life, and we don't want them living that. Read on.
it says, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life,
And he shall receive the crown of life. Read on.
which the Lord hath promised to him to them that love him.
And if you love the Most High, then you'll fight like hell to not give in to your feelings. If you love the Most High, you'll fight like hell to not give in to what feels good, what tastes good, what smells good, what sounds good. If you love the Most High, you'll fight like hell to get away from those things that you attached yourself to, that have become a regular or a norm in your life that separates you from the Most High.
True.
But read on.
Verse 13. Let no man say,
But nobody can say what?
when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High.
It's God's fault. That's the first thing that we do is we have a finger to point to say, why am I in the condition that I'm in? We always try to look at and point fingers to say, well, it's God's fault. It's my mom's fault. I could say it was my dad's fault that I smoked cigarettes. Because you know what? I saw him smoking every day. I saw him, we yeah.
Man, exciting.
That every day. You know what I'm saying? You hear that sound, you already know it. Yeah, then he make it look good. You know what I'm saying? He take the little plastic thing off like little Wrigley bubble gum pack. You know what I'm saying? Take the little wrapper off the pack and pop it open. Then he just flip it over one hand and then shoot the cigarette out with one hand and catch it. He made it look cool. It was like, damn, man, this look good. Like James,
dancing.
like the Globetrotter. You know what I'm saying? Spin a pack in his hand. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. He made it look attractive. And then he would sit back and cross his legs.
I get the zone that.
Have a little wine, a little drink, a little cognac, something, whatever. Canadian Mist, whatever it was. Nasty ass Canadian Mist. You know what I'm saying? So, but the whole idea of it was attractive. He made him look more nostalgic and mature. It's like more important. That's a man. He's a man in the house. He gets to flex. He gets to eat his food, smoke his cigarettes, do what he wants, come and go as he please. And yell at, oh, close that door. You're letting the air out. Either come in or come out. Make your pick. You gonna come in, stay in. Watching the football game. Cowboys is up by 2. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing looked good. But I can blame my father and say, you know what? Hey, I had a bad example. But you know what? Everybody can't. You gotta be responsible and accountable for the decisions you make. You can't blame the Most High or the circumstance or the people he put you around. Because you know what? You can still say no. That's one thing that the Most High gives you the power to do. You can say no. You can say, I will not do it. That's what endure means. The definition of endure. You have another definition of endure?
Endure. It says to resist.
To what?
Resist.
You have the power to tell people no. That power has always been with you. Whether you was in 6th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade, or a grown-ass man or grown-ass woman, you always have the capacity to say no. That choice is always yours. That choice has never left. Yeah, you scared. No, I'm not scared. I just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? I choose not to. Oh, you weak. He's scary. He's scared. Get out of here. You can't hang with us.
Leave out that line.
Yeah, you can't hang with us. Get out the car because you scared. You can't party with us because you gonna tell. You a snitch. You gonna tell. You gonna get us in trouble. I ain't gonna snitch. You gonna hang with the big boys today.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Huh?
You gonna hang with the big boys. Say we're gonna put you on our wing. We're gonna show you how we roll.
Get down with us.
You know what I'm saying? Stupid, man. Can you roll a joint? Can you roll a blunt? You can't even roll it. You can't even roll it. Get out of here, man. Man, get out, man. You know it's so immature. But you know what? You didn't have to be there. You know what? You didn't have to be there. Unfortunately, yeah, that pressure is real. It is real. But you could still do what? Definition of endure.
Endure. To resist.
Go ahead.
To bear with patience.
To do what?
To bear with patience.
You know what? I might get made fun of for a little while, but it ain't gonna last forever. You know why people gonna make fun of me? Because they're making fun of me because I haven't made a decision yet to take it serious. When people know that I take it serious and I don't want it, then they stop offering it to me. They automatically say, "Man, no, don't even offer him that, man."
It's cool. He's square, man.
He don't do that, man. Don't give him that. He ain't like us. You know what I'm saying? No, don't give it to him. Don't even offer it to him, man. He's straight, man. No, he cool. You know, but when they see that you're serious about saying no, that's when they respect that no. That's when all the temptation and the peer pressure stops.
It's true.
That's when it stops. When you have the ability to resist. Go ahead.
It even says to bear without opposition or sinking under the pressure.
Or sinking under the pressure. And that's what a lot of us do when we get tempted. We sink under the pressure. It's either the pressure from outside influences or it's the pressure like Eve did and told herself that it's okay. I'll be okay. I'll disrespect the commandments of the Most High and I'll still be all right. Now let that go and go continue right in Genesis chapter 3.
Well, yeah, from the top of 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise.
And everybody will see me as wise. Everybody will respect me. Go ahead. I'll have more friends. Go ahead.
She took of the fruit thereof and did eat,
Go ahead.
and gave also unto her husband.
And she brought it to who?
Her husband.
And she convinced Adam that it's okay. So Satan went through the woman to get to who? To get to the man. Now they both partook in this evil. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
With her. And he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open. And they knew that they were naked.
And the definition of this naked, and I'm going to get back to the question, but the definition of this naked means that I'm no longer under the protection of the Most High, because now my eyes have been exposed to sin, to negativity. Now I know that there's a repercussion. I have knowledge now that there's another side of life. See, when the Most High put Adam and Eve in the garden, he only wanted them to have one type of influence, which was righteousness. But now that you know that there's another side of righteousness, now you're responsible for making a choice. See, before they didn't have to worry about picking righteousness or wickedness. They didn't have to pick negative or positivity. They only knew righteousness. They only knew good. They only knew how to be obedient. But they didn't have to make a decision to say, you know what, I got to be careful about what I do. I'm now responsible. Because all that happens is when you touch dirt or you touch sin, you become responsible now. You become accountable now. You become blamable in the eyes of the Most High. Now you're vulnerable to the Most High's judgment. Now now you're responsible for what you do. Because now you're not a kid anymore. Now you're not innocent anymore. You're no longer innocent. And when anything robs you of your innocence, then you can't go back to that. And it's very difficult to go back to that innocent point. Because you know what? It should be that I should have never been involved from the beginning. Now the Most High is going to punish me. Now I'm without the Most High's protection because what I choose or what I've done. And that's all that Adam and Eve is happening here. They're conscious of the fact that the Most High is no longer with them. Right? Read on.
And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Now, this is why Christ said this. Go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 13. Now, because we read a minute ago where it says in James, which we're going to go back to in chapter 1, about not blaming the Most High for, and get that scripture that you have to.
I got it.
Not blaming the Most High for my downfall, being responsible. Read that.
Matthew 6 and 13.
Read that.
And lead us not into temptation.
Read verse 11.
Come. Matthew 6 and 11. Give us this day our daily bread.
This is why Christ said you have to pray this every day. You have this has to be a part of your daily prayer. He said, give us this day our daily bread. He said, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
And
Right.
one point, I bet. And when he says your daily prayer, I mean, this is like really a major priority in your day. This is the major focus of your day. Because sometimes coming from the Catholic world or the Baptist world, we do the repetitive praying, ABC, 1, 2, 3.
Right. Hail Mary, Mother of Grace.
Yeah, we just think it's a ritual. But really, God's showing you that this has to be your main focus on a daily basis.
Yep. Good point. Go ahead.
Matthew 6 and 11. Give us this day our daily bread.
Go ahead.
And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors.
Read on.
And lead us not into temptation.
What should be your prayer every day?
Lead us not into temptation.
Your part of your prayer every day should be that the Most High helps you not to steer you away from temptation. Don't lead us into temptation. You know what I'm saying? That the Most High provide us with the opportunity to abstain, to say no, to resist, to endure temptation. Not saying that temptation is not going to be there. Temptation is always going to be there. As long as you're walking on this earth, you living and breathing on this earth, there will be temptation. But part of the prayer should be that the Most High helps us escape the temptation. That he steers us away from temptation. He said, lead us not into temptation. Go ahead.
But deliver us from evil.
And that should be your prayer every day. You should be asking for the Most High's assistance in helping you stay away from temptation. Or when temptation comes, you make the right decision. And the way you make the right decision, I want to get one verse, James chapter 4, verse 7. Since we're already in James. Somebody read James chapter 4, verse 7. This is how you guarantee that the Most High, this is how you guarantee that prayer that you're supposed to ask the Most High not to lead you into temptation. This is how you guarantee, this is the actions that you can do to ensure that you don't fall victim to temptation. Read James chapter 4, verse 7.
James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High.
So can you just pray, Lord, don't lead me into temptation? What else after you pray that prayer, what are you supposed to do? Read that again.
It says, submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High.
So after you pray that prayer that the Most High helps you escape temptation, you're supposed to submit yourselves to who?
To the Most High.
To the Most High. Now I live for God. I don't just pray this prayer. I live for a different reason. I live for a different purpose. I have a new motivation. Now my life is now given to following the tenets, the commandments, the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High.
And I'm putting myself around spirits because when I want to do negative, I know who to put myself around to do negative.
Right. I know who got that work.
I know who got that. You know what I'm saying? I'll make some phone calls. I'm going to communicate. I'm going to pursue people or circles of people or areas.
Or I'm going to pursue people that tell me lies.
Yeah.
That tell me that what I'm doing is okay.
They don't disagree with me.
Right.
I want an agreeable spirit around me. So when I know I'm pursuing people that are agreeable to my weaknesses, I know I'm already making a provision. I'm already setting up my flesh.
All I do is make a call.
I'm setting up temptation. Because we don't just jump up. We're always in temptation.
Right.
It's a process. And first I'm entertaining it. I'm playing with the thought, fantasizing, meditating. Then like, nah. Then you look up, then that spirit or that energy starts to come more and more in your vicinity. Yes, sir.
The verse that you're speaking on right now is that in Romans, Romans 13 and 14,
Read it.
where he says, in Romans 13 and 14, but put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ.
So what we mean? We mean it's like you just put a cross on, or you,
Right.
or
Jesus
you,
peace.
or you put a Jesus, you put a Bible in your pocket. That's you got to read the Bible. we years ago, we had this group. Remember on Guadalupe Street, that family, and they were crying. They were always saying, "Man, you know, we sleep with the Bible every day. We hug it every day.
Yeah.
And why is God not protecting us? Help us, right?"
Yeah, I remember that.
They were a homeless couple, beautiful couple, they were a great couple, and they would come to class and they would pray, but they would never read their Bible. They would never read the information, so it never stuck in their mind. And they couldn't understand why they kept going through the same cycle. And once the man decided he wanted to change, then they got divorced. It was crazy. It wasn't both of them united in fighting for change. When you're trying to fight for change, you need a partner. You need someone with you that agrees with the same mindset. So you got to put on the Lord. What meaning? I'm putting on the Lord by putting myself around people, and I'm putting myself around influence and information that keeps me fighting to be spiritual. And when you're fighting to be spiritual,
That will help me resist my temptation.
it's going to push away a lot of people. It's going to agitate people.
You're gonna lose a lot of friends.
And that's how you know you're putting the Lord on. Because other people have made the same decision to be better. Read on.
And make not provision for the flesh.
And that provision is I'm slowly setting myself up. I know it's Saturday. I'm strong on Monday. I'm hella strong on Tuesday. Getting a little weak on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm feeling kind of bad. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push it.
Hey, the phone started ringing on Friday.
Oh man.
You know, the phone call said, "Hey man, what you doing, man? What you getting into?"
You know what I'm saying?
The phone call comes like with just a open door, like, "Hey man, what you doing today?" Man, then it's, "Well, I ain't really doing nothing." Then it's, "I'm not doing nothing." To, "Hey, well, you want to do this? I heard this. I heard it's a house party over here. I heard it's a get together. It's a barbecue." Then I heard this. Then, "Hey,
It's good time.
Did you have a ride? Hey, I'll pick you up."
Everybody's nice when it comes to.
I'm broke. Hey,
Don't even trip.
don't worry about the
got
money. I
you.
got you, man. No gas. Don't worry about it. I'll pick you up. And then here comes the circle of influence, and it comes every weekend. Every weekend, the phone rings. Somebody knocks on the door. Somebody from your past, somebody with that weak influence, will reach out to you,
Yeah.
especially at a vulnerable time.
Yeah. But
You know when the most vulnerable time is? When you're really trying to change.
yeah. Wow.
And that's when you're most vulnerable. And then the temptation is stronger.
Yeah.
Then it's like, "Listen, man, we're finna go out of town. It's finna be the weekend, man. We finna go chill for the whole weekend, man.
We had a good time.
We finna have a good time, man. You know what happened last time? You missed out." Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Don't miss out again. You already know how we get down.
Long weekend.
It's a long week. You're about to have a blast. So, but the influences come stronger, especially when you try to change. That's when you'll start noticing the temptation being increased.
Yeah.
Now it's like freebies.
And that's a spiritual thing.
That's a spiritual
That's
thing.
not a coincidence.
Right.
Because when you was a regular dude, you was broke and you was native. The first time, I'm not paying for you, bro.
Yeah.
You pay your own way, homie.
Yeah.
But when you try to change for Christ, everybody, "Man, I got you. I'll pay for it. I got you. I'm
I pay
looking out."
for it. It's free. We family. We friends. The family be the worst ones.
Yeah.
Man, I thought you we kinfolk, man. We family, man. Blood is thicker than water. What you talking about, man? You know, this is family. This is what we do. You know, one of the first things I noticed when I changed is that your family will ridicule you. They'll make fun of you. Because once again, they're testing to see if you're serious about this change or not. Once people see that you're serious about change, they leave you alone. Matter of fact, people come, once they see that you're serious about change,
For real.
they come to you behind closed doors when the other family members aren't looking. And then they say, "Tell me more about the Bible that you've been reading." They'll mock you and make fun of you in the daytime, but at night they're calling you like, "Hey man, I just went through a relationship breakup. I just went through a breakup, man. I need some help, encouragement getting over the situation." Now the same people that was mocking me, the same people that was making fun of me, they come to me by night, and they come to me and they on a smooth tip and say, "Man, tell me more about what you read. Tell me more about this church you go to. Tell me more about this Bible that you read. Tell me more about this class that you
Oh, why
guys
are you
have."
taking it so serious? Tell me why are you taking it so serious?
Right. Or they say, "Well, I've seen you change. What has been the secret behind your change?" No different if you lose weight. People say,
That's
man,
true.
what are you eating? What are you not eating? What's your diet like, man? What are you doing to I seen you drop 50 pounds? Well, just as evident as it is in the physical, it's just as evident in the spiritual. People will see you don't smoke no more like you used to. You don't party no more like you used to. You don't hang out like no more like you used to. You say no when before you was the yes man. You was the ride or die guy. You was like, man, whenever somebody said something, you was always the first one to say, man, I'll be there. Don't worry about it. I'll be there. But now they're saying everything is changing about you. And just as evident as it is in the physical, they can see it in the spiritual. Now they start asking, how are you so disciplined? Man, your mind is not all over the place anymore. You're more focused, man. You're more serious than you used to be. You don't joke as much as you used to. You're not the party guy laughing with all the jokes no more. You don't think everything is funny no more. You don't do what we do anymore. What are you doing that's different? You know what's different? Your knowledge is different. I'm glad who pulled that verse, that last verse about who pulled the
Romans.
last verse? Romans.
Provisions.
Read that Romans one more time. You read that. Read that one more time.
Romans 13 and 14. But put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ.
Go ahead. When you put on Christ, it's talking about the way you think and the way you look at life is different. You pattern your life after Christ. The way you pattern your thoughts after Christ. That's what he's saying. You have a new way of thinking and looking at situations. I don't look at cigarettes the same way I used to look at cigarettes. That's why I don't smoke them no more.
Yeah. It used to be beautiful. It used to be a beautiful thing.
Used to be a party thing.
Kind of.
Used to be party favorites. You know what I'm saying? You know, they went hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Now you don't even want to smoke.
And then now you watch every video on TV. They got smoke. They blowing blunts. Smoke. They strange clouds. They blowing on something in every music video. It's legal. So now, but now you don't care about that no more. He said, you put on Christ, you don't do what? Go ahead, read on.
And make not provision for the flesh.
You don't give yourself opportunity to indulge in the things that you used to indulge in. And that's the way you're supposed to do it. Any more on that?
To fulfill the lust thereof.
You gotta stop pleasing yourself. You gotta stop doing things that satisfy your feelings, your taste, your touch, on what sounds good and what smells good. Because that's how Eve was caught up. Go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 2.
Okay.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 2. Just on that point, this is a good verse you pulled. Hold James. We're coming back to James. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 2.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 2. That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh.
Once I'm in Christ, I no longer live the rest of my life where?
In the flesh.
I don't live for what feels good, tastes good, smells good, sounds good. I don't live after my senses anymore. I don't do things that just satisfy my flesh anymore. And we all, if you're old enough, we've all done things that satisfied our flesh. And if you're in that teen age or that young man or young woman stage, this is to prevent you from doing those things that please or satisfy your flesh. He says when you're in Christ, you have to disconnect from your flesh. Read on.
To the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High.
And so now I don't live for the satisfaction of what makes me feel good. I live now for what the Most High would require of me. What does the Most High want from me? What is the will of the Most High? Yes, sir.
No, I just have a verse to pull up what you said.
What is it?
The Psalms chapter 1 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
It say right here, but his delight is in the law of the Lord.
So now what makes me happy, what makes me feel good is no longer Cool Filthy Kings, Black and Miles, White Owls, Optimals. It's no longer smoke. It's no longer drink. It's no longer weed, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is.
Or the serpents.
Sex, whatever it is. These things are, I don't live for the pleasure of these things anymore. He said, but I delight, meaning I take joy. I enjoy doing what? Read on.
Is in the law of the Lord.
I find joy in being obedient to the Most High because that's my safety. You know what? If Eve would have just been obedient to the instruction of the Most High, she would have still been in the garden, and we would have still been in the Garden of Eden to this day. The only reason why we got kicked out of the Garden of Eden is because of man's rebelliousness. It was because of man's disobedience. Because Eve said that she saw the fruit and said it was good for food. And it was good to, and I see it as, and it can make me wise. And she shared this negativity. She shared this negative knowledge. And her delight was no longer in being obedient, meaning I want to follow now. I've lived a life of disobedience, but now it's time for me to live a life of following. What does it mean to be obedient? Obedient means to follow. If I followed my flesh and I followed peer pressure, and I see where it got me at, and it got me in a bad place, then now Christ is there to give me a new opportunity to change the outcome of my life.
A better example.
And that's why it says this in Peter. Read that one more time.
1 Peter chapter 4,
Verse 2.
verse 2, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of the Most High.
So now my life now, I get joy. I find pleasure in not pleasing myself. I find pleasure in being obedient to the Most High, because that's my safety. Because if we were obedient, we would never been out the Garden of Eden. We would still be in the Garden of Eden to this day.
I got at this point.
Mhm.
And the thing is, the end result is what's bitter. The beginning process was good. It felt good.
Yeah.
It was accentuated. It was stimulating.
Yeah.
But I never took the time to really analyze. People don't take the time to analyze what is the negative effect of me giving myself the temptation.
Mhm.
What's the end reality?
Yeah.
We don't take time. We're so busy chasing the next escape. We don't meditate on where this escape is taking me
Right.
and how far it's taking me from the Father, how far it's taking me from the Most High.
That's right.
See, in the same sense, it's like that. You want that one thing so bad, $1 million. So when you get that $1 million, it's not as fulfilling as you thought it would be.
It's always not fulfilled.
I never forget. There's a story of a guy that he hit the lottery, and it was only like 30 grand, but his friends beat him in the head with a hammer and took his money, and he was left and the person that told me was a nursing home lady. She worked in a nursing home, and she had to take care of this young man that got beat in the head with a hammer because his friend, he won the lottery, 30 grand, and his friends beat him over the head, and they had to restructure his skull to where she said that he was in the bed all day, and when he would breathe, because they fractured his skull and they couldn't put his skull back together in certain places, it was just skin, that when he would breathe in, his head would breathe. And so his head would breathe in one place. As his lungs filled up, his brain would fill, his skin would fill up. And then he would just snot at the nose and run at the nose, and he was handicapped because they beat him. So that money ain't all. I say that because you may want something so bad, and when you get it, it could be your demise. You get it, it could be your destruction. Look at what that lotto cost him. I'm sure the joy behind it was great, but look at the rest of his life and the condition that he's in due to the circumstances of the people that he was around. Now this guy's young man in his 30s, incapacitated with a skull that breathes like his lungs, that can't move. You know what I'm saying? Sad story. And there's a million of those stories. That ain't just one story. There's a million of those stories of people that got some type of achievement or got something that they wanted so bad, but it was to their demise. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. But I want to go back to where we was at. I want to get back to the point though. Go finish up in
The
James.
will of God. The will of God.
Finish up in James chapter 1. And we're gonna go back to
Genesis.
how we got to this point, which was
I got one question on the point.
Okay.
I'll go back to my point.
yeah. Go ahead. Finish that in James chapter 1.
James chapter 1, verse, where we at, 10?
We was let me check. James chapter 1, verse 13.
James chapter 1, verse 13. It says, "Let no man say, when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High."
Let no man say when he is tempted of who?
The Most High.
Got it. Ecclesiastes 15. He said, "Let no man blame the Most High." We wanted a scapegoat. We don't want to blame somebody for our downfall. We want to blame somebody for our decisions, for our weaknesses. We want to blame somebody for falling victim to sin. We can't blame the Most High. We can't blame
Yeah.
people. Matter of fact, read
This
this
is
right here.
really good,
Just
bro.
write this down. Ecclesiasticus, write this down. Ecclesiasticus chapter
15,
15.
11, 12, and then verse 19 and 20, bro.
Read that.
Ecclesiasticus 15, verse 11.
Somebody else read it. Somebody's reading it. You break it down.
I got you.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 15, verse 11 and 12. Somebody help everybody with the scripture.
I'm going to go the whole way down. This the whole
No,
thing's
we
potent.
can't do that.
Okay, I got it. Got you.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 11.
Yeah.
15,
15,
verse 11, and 12, and then 19, 20.
Read that.
Right? Ecclesiastes 15 and 11. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated.
He said, don't what?
All right, read that point again. Slack it, bro. Read it again.
Ecclesiastes 15 and 11. Say not thou,
Don't say. Read.
it is through the Lord.
God created the situation. God's the reason why I'm here. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be in this
He
situation.
put me in this family.
God made it like this.
He put me on this side of town.
I had no control.
I was
God,
born in this city.
it's God's fault. Because secretly we say that.
I had bad parents.
If the circumstances were different, I would have been a different person. But God put me in this situation. Read.
That I fell away.
It's through the Lord that I fell away. It's God's fault I'm in my condition.
And you know what? You know what's so sad though too? A lot of black and Hispanic people wish they were white for this reason.
Yeah.
This is why a lot of blacks and Hispanics hate their own skin color.
And bleach himself.
This is why they bleach themselves. This is why they blonde their hair. This is why they wear contacts with blue eyes and green eyes. They feel like if I was born different, my circumstance would be better. This is why there's the beginning of a self-hatred. Because we see not only is it me, but it's everybody that looks like me is in the same situation. So a lot of us are hateful to ourselves because we wish we was born white. We wish we was born on the other side of town.
You want the advantage.
With the better schools, with the big houses, with the fancy cars. Because we this is why also a lot of our people that are black and Hispanic fight to be like white people. This is why we fight because they're the image of prosperity. They're the image of safety. They got gated communities. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. They be the biggest drug users. They be the first one using drugs at like 12. You know what I'm saying?
Smoking
10.
Freon now.
Yeah, smoking Freon, sniffing gas, sniffing paint. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They do just as much drugs, if not more, because they have access to it. They can afford it. We be on them cheap drugs. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not there to compare. What I'm saying is, this is the beginning where there's a lot of self-hatred at, where we hate our own skin color. We hate our own people. And we hate ourselves. This is when we don't even want to be ourselves anymore. We want to be like somebody else. But the Most High didn't make you. He made you the way he made you, not so you could be like somebody else. He made you like he made you so you can learn how to fight and overcome and say no to negative. And so that you can be rewarded and blessed in the end of it. Read on.
Read on.
For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated.
So I can't say it's through God I fell away. It's through the Lord I fell away. It's the Most High's fault. It's God's fault. It's this person's fault while I'm in my situation. Because I shouldn't do the things that the Father does not like. Because there's consequences to my actions. Everything has a consequence. I shouldn't do the things that the Father hates or dislikes. Read on.
Say not thou,
Don't say this. Read.
he hath caused me to err.
God caused me to error or to make mistakes. It was God's fault I made these mistakes. That's what people psychologically say. They secretly say these things in their mind. Read on.
For he hath no need of the sinful man.
Most High didn't want us to be sinners. So he didn't lead me into sin. I had to take accountability. Stop running from responsibility and not stop running from the blame.
I was vulnerable.
I made these choices and I put myself in the position. So I gotta accept that.
Right.
I have to eat that. Because
Amos 4 and 6.
it's
But go ahead.
Yeah. Read on, read verse 19.
And his eyes are upon them that fear him.
His eyes are upon who?
Them that fear him.
So I was losing fear. I lost fear of instruction. A lot of us fall into temptation because we stop listening to people that give us good advice.
Yep.
We don't have that respect for our counselors. We don't have respect for our parents. We don't have respect for positive examples around us. We get tired of hearing we're wrong or we're off or we're doing the wrong thing or we're in the wrong mentality or, hey, you know, We get tired of hearing somebody else tell us what to do. Read.
And he knoweth every work of man.
So God knows everybody's behavior, everybody's personality, everybody's thoughts, everybody's temptations, what we play with, what we want to entertain in our head. Read secretly. Read.
He hath commanded no man.
God did what?
Commanded no man.
He commanded no what?
No man.
No man or woman. Read.
To do wickedly.
To do what?
To do wickedly.
To break advice, to break counsel, to break discipline,
Or give in to peer pressure.
to fold. Read.
Neither hath he given any man license to sin.
I didn't give anybody a license to break the commandments.
He never said it's okay to do negative. The Most High never said it's okay. Who said it's okay?
Sir.
We did. We're the ones that dictate what's right and wrong. We're the ones that tell ourselves, I can do this and I can control it. We're the ones that do things and say it'll be okay.
And this is why we lived for 1,000 years back in the day, and we put the Most High that the time we have, we're not going to be positive in the time. We're not going to be disciplined and obeying the scriptures and commandments and the wisdom of God.
Yep.
He doesn't watch me trip for 1,000 years. So why do I want to watch this trip fest for 1,000 years? Short it down to 500. Take it down to 120.
Yep.
Man, take it to 30 years.
Yep.
Because I'm getting tired of seeing the same routine. The change isn't happening enough. I don't see the change. So the Most High declines the age bracket because he sees that we're stubborn and we don't want to change. We want to persist in our negative.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 3.
Genesis chapter 6 and verse 3 reads, And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man.
Meaning the Most High is not going to tolerate us constantly being disrespectful or there being a lack of fear towards or respect or reverence towards his word and his commandments. He said, how long should I keep telling these people right from wrong? You know what? It's almost like the longer I let them live, the more disrespectful and rebellious they become.
That's crazy, bro.
Read on.
That's crazy.
Because the question that we're answering, because this was the topic of the class, it was a question and answering session. The question was, why don't we live as long as we used to? That was the question that was asked at the beginning of the class. Why don't we live as long as we used to? So now we're getting an understanding of why when Adam lived 900 and something years, Methuselah lived 969 years. All the ancient men of the Bible lived 700, 800, 900 years, almost 1,000 years. Why don't we get that 1,000 years anymore? Read on.
For that he also is flesh.
Because man is flesh and man is into his flesh. Man is into the satisfaction of his flesh. He's not into the satisfaction of obedience and following instruction. He's in the satisfaction of what feels good. And by this reason and for this reason, he constantly makes mistakes. He constantly errs from the way of righteousness. Read on.
Yet his days shall be 120 years.
So now we went from 900 years on earth to now being rebellious, unfaithful, undisciplined, and walking after our flesh to where the Most High said, you know what? I'm not going to tolerate this for another 800 years. I'm not going to tolerate this for another 900 years. I'm going to cut man's life down to what?
To 120 years.
To 100 and what?
20 years.
So the Most High, at this point in the book of Genesis, already we read from chapter 5, and we're only in chapter 6. We're still in the book of Genesis.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So in one chapter, we went from living 900 plus years old on earth, and one chapter later, we're down to what?
120 years.
So why did the Most High cut our lifespan down? You know what that means? That means that your body was suitable and created to live at least 900 plus years. We don't even think that way. Your body was supposed to last you 900 years. You were created to live 900 years. You know what? Some animals live 300 years. One of the oldest living animals on earth now is over 350 years old. It's a tortoise. It's a reptile.
He wasn't sending up.
You know what? That damn tortoise. That damn tortoise was righteous.
Continue, my son.
You know that damn tortoise has been around longer than America has existed.
Wow.
America it was born 1776, right?
Yeah.
That's when we got our freedom from the British, right?
Yeah.
That's why we celebrate the 4th of July. This damn tortoise been around longer than America been around. Elephants live 120 years old, 130 years old. The African gray bird lives past its owner. That's why when you buy an African gray bird, the damn parrot, you have to sign it over in a will to give it to whoever you want to pass it down to, because it's going to outlive the owner.
Wow.
The damn bird live 120 years, 140 years. A bird. A damn reptile live 300 something years. Elephants live to 100 something years. Why wouldn't man be made to live 800-900 years? Is not he more important than animals? How is the Most High's creation outlasting us? You know why? Because we're the ones who now entertain negative. We're the ones who become disobedient. We're the ones that become rebellious. And that's why the Most High chopped our days down to 120. Yes.
No, I was just gonna have one more scripture.
Oh, hold on. Before you get that.
No.
Before you get that.
There you
Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 18. Yeah, we're gonna do that too. Yeah.
Might hit the punchline.
Yeah. Okay. I know. Go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
Go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha and give me what I say 18. Yeah, give me 18 verse 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 18,
Verse 9.
verse 9. The number of man's days at the most are 100 years.
And now what? Guess what just happened now?
Man, you just lost 20 more years.
We just got 20 more years cut off. This was in the Bible.
It's 2 decades down. Man.
We went from living 900 years, which the body was made to actually endure that amount of time. The body was supposed to last. It wasn't supposed to break down in 100. It said Adam had his first child at what, 130? At 130? Seth had his first child at 187 years old. These bodies was made to last. But now because of our rebellion and our disobedience to the Most High, he said, at most a man's life is what?
100 years.
You'd be lucky to get 100.
Wow.
You'd be lucky to have a grandparent, great-grandparent, that's able to see 5 generations. That's rare. That was common. 100, you were just starting your life. You was a teenager at 100. If you could live 900 years to 1,000, you was a teenager. You was not even a teenager yet. You was like an adolescent. You were just hitting puberty at 100. You just came out of pubescent stages at 100. Man, at 100, you can't do nothing nowadays. It's a blessing that you could even speak, or that you could walk, that you could drive. It'll be a blessing that you even don't have, that you're not in some type of memory care facility or Alzheimer's facility. Now that's a better word than Alzheimer's. Memory care. That's a better word than saying what? You can't remember nothing. Your damn mind is gone. You don't even know who you are. You don't know, you can't recognize your cousins, your family, your brother, your sister, your kids, your grandkids. You don't even know your own name. And now that's a common thing. We down live in our 60s, 70s in some type of Alzheimer's memory care, nursing home, hospice care facility. Young, 55 in a nursing home, 65 in a nursing home, 75 in a nursing home. That's not how it was supposed to be. It was through man's rebelliousness. It's why the Most High had to chop his days down. Read on.
Verse 10. As a drop of water unto the sea, and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to days of eternity.
It says, you know what? To compare it to the Most High, our life is like a drop compared to how long the Most High lives. Compared to if we're going to compare ages between us and the Most High, man, our life is like a drop or a gravel, a piece of sand, a speck of dust compared to how long the Most High lives. Why would the Most High create us in his image and make us these beautiful creatures and then give us such short lifespans on earth? It was through our rebellion. It was through our sin and our disobedience that the Most High had to chop life down. Now you're hitting 50, you're at a midlife crisis. Now you're going bald, you do the comb over. You do the comb, you got one side of hair that's combed over to this side of hair. Now you got a Ferrari with in a convertible, and you got Jordans on, and you're 50-something years old in the club. Because you're not sure where you fit in at. I'm still young in my mind, but shit, I'm losing my hair. I'm still young in my mind, and I still got it. I think I still got it. But everybody looking at me like, what? Man, you old, man. You the old man in the club. We don't do them dances no more. They don't even do the swishy swash no more. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. That's why I laugh. You know what I'm talking about. You want to demonstrate real quick? Oh, you don't want, okay. You don't want, okay, cool. You don't want to demonstrate the swishy swash, whatever that little dance where you doing this. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But well, they don't do that no more. They got new dances out. Now the old man's trying to holler at young women. Old as hell. You old. You know what? You old when you don't know them songs. You didn't grow up with them songs. You know them. You don't know them songs on the radio. You know what the hell they talking about. Your generation has passed already, and you ain't number like 27, and your generation is already old. It's gone. You out the loop.
Talking rims out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of old guys trying to be young and keep up with young people. Because you know what? They're at a point where they're looked at as elders, man. You hit them 40s and 50s, you ain't the cool guy. You know what I'm saying? They ain't not picking you up on the basketball court no more. You're the last one picked.
They think, are you the coach?
Yeah, are you gonna ref the game? Yeah, you gonna ref the game?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if they have to pick you up, you're the last one left, man. Well, come on, man. We'll put you on the team. Yeah, who got school? They call you school. You're the last one on the damn team because you're old. They say, man, we pass the ball unless absolutely necessary. Yeah. So, you know what? It's a damn shame, but it's the truth. And you ain't number like 40, but you already looked at as the old man. Yeah, but you know why? Because you've already diminished because your life has been so fast paced. Your life has been without discretion. Your life has been without control. Therefore, your life is diminishing faster and faster. That's how the Most High set it up. He set it up to where the faster you live your life, the faster you go to the grave. The more you're rebellious, the more you don't follow his instruction, the faster you meet death. That's exactly what he's doing to Adam. That's what he did to Adam. That's what he did to man after Adam. The more rebellious you want to be, guess what? The shorter your lifespan. Time starts to increase sooner and faster. You know, when you're young, things take forever, man. Like, damn, I can't wait till I'm 18. I got 3 more years. Damn, it's taking forever. Once you pass 21, time doubles. Then you go like 21, 23, 25. Once you hit 30, it goes by fives. You're 30, then 35, then you're 40. Shit, then you're 40, then it's like, damn, I better really do something with my life. You got to really start thinking about what the hell am I going to do with my life? I'm in my 40s now. Body don't work the same. It don't recover the same. Now I'm really trying to figure out, okay, I got a maybe good 10 or 20. I got maybe good 20. I got a solid 20 left. What am I going to do with this last 20? Because you know, once you get about 60, 65, you better hang it up, man.
You start tricking yourself like, oh, this is new.
Yeah. You hit about 60, 65, you got to start thinking about what you don't want to think about. Do I have a will? You got to start thinking about, do I have a headstone? You got to start thinking about, do I have a plot or a cemetery paid for? Life insurance. You got to start thinking about the things you don't want to talk about. Where am I going to be at in another 20? If I even have another 20. So read on.
Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and verse 11. Therefore is God patient with them.
It said, but the Most High is what?
Patient with them.
You know why the Most High is patient with us? Because he's trying to give you time to change. So that you can extend your life. He's trying to get you time. If the Most High is shortening our life because of rebellion and sin, then why don't I stop the sin so I can live longer? then why don't I stop the rebellion so he can excel and prolong my life? Because I'm going to die anyway. Somebody's going to have fun. Right. Read on.
And pour forth his mercy upon them.
That's why the Most High has to increase his mercy. Otherwise, we die even faster. And a lot of us don't even make it out of 21. A lot of us got dead homies. A lot of us got dead homies that went too soon. A lot of us got dead family members that went too soon. A lot of us got friends that went too fast because they were living fast. Read on.
He saw and perceived their end to be evil.
He said, you know what? It was the Most High that said, man, I'm going to give these men a chance. Because at the rate that they're going, they're not going to last. At the rate that we're living our life is going to disappear too quick. We're going to look up and we 50. We look up, we 60. We look up, we 70. If you can make it to 70. If you can make it to 80. Read on.
Therefore he multiplied his compassion.
That's why the Most High is allowing us to hear these words now. All that us opening the Bible is doing is extending our lives. It's the Most High when we should deserve death, because that's the wage of sin is death. That's the payment and the outcome of sin. So when we should deserve death, the Most High gives us time and an opportunity. That's the beauty of reading the Bible. I get to prolong my life. Read on.
Verse 13. The mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh.
And that's the Most High giving us this opportunity. Read on.
He reproveth.
And that's why reproof is correction. If I've been living wrong, the Most High's mercy will allow me to get a second chance on life. That's what opening the Bible does. It gives me a second opportunity to live, but not live in the flesh. The flesh is what was killing me. Now I get to live in the spirit. Now I get to follow after Christ, so I get a second chance on life. Each and every one of us in this room is being allowed to get a second chance on life. I get an opportunity to live for a different cause, a different purpose. Read on.
And nurture it and teach it.
And this is the Most High teaching me again. If I live without the Bible in my first 20 years, and I already saw where that got me, or if I live without the Bible for my first 30 years or my first 40 years, and I already saw where that got me, it really didn't get me far. Then why don't I live with the Bible and let the Most High allow me to live out my life in peace and stretch my days out, stretch my years out? That's what the Most High is allowing us to get.
It's good.
That's that nurturing that he's allowing. He's allowing you to be taught again so you can live longer. Go ahead.
And bring it again as the shepherd his flock.
And that's all the Most High wants to do, is to bring us back to him. Go ahead. That's fine.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 25, in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 25.
Ecclesiasticus 37, 25.
17.
35.
Verse 25. 25.
Ecclesiastes 17 and 25. Return unto the Lord.
Do what?
Return unto the Lord.
Do what?
Return unto the Lord.
Read on.
And forsake thy sins.
So I'm forsaking my temptations. I'm finding ways to overcome my temptations. Read.
Make thy prayer before his face.
And I'm praying, I'm making my ability to overcome flaws and temptations, I'm making that my main daily priority. I'm putting a lot of energy and focus and concentration into it because I need it, because I'm having to overcome me. Read.
And offend less.
And what's the end point?
Offend less.
So it's not to say that you will never ever do this again, but you're supposed to do it less and less and less and less. I should be over a process of time not making the same mistakes. Read on, verse 26.
Turn again to the Most High.
Do what?
Turn again to the Most High.
I'm making my priority turning again to the Father and sticking to the scriptures and being strong spiritually and being around spiritual people and having a spiritual mind frame than living for my flesh and my pleasure. Read.
And turn away from iniquity.
And I'm escaping my iniquity, right? I'm running from the things or situations, and I'm not justifying to myself that things are okay. This is okay to do. I'm not lying to myself anymore. Read.
For he will lead thee out of darkness.
Yeah, lead me out of what?
Out of darkness.
Darkness is ignorance. So my decisions that are made out of the flesh lead me to being more ignorant and having a negative effect on my people, the people around me, because I won't leave my darkness or I won't leave my ignorance alone. Read on.
For he will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health.
And the light of health is if I commit less sins, I have a longer lifespan. I have a healthier mind. I have a healthy mind, a healthy body, a healthy spirit, healthy relationships, healthy family. Read.
Things change. A lot of things change.
Things get better by offending less, forsaking my sins, stop justifying and tell myself lies to do what I want to do in the first place. Read.
And hate thou abominations.
Hate thou what?
Abominations.
Negativity. I gotta hate negative.
You know what? It's not just negative, but I gotta hate what the Most High hates.
Con.
I gotta hate the things that He hates, and I have to learn how to love what the Most High loves. Our definition of hate could be anything, but we have to learn how to coincide our hate with and mirror the hate, and have the same hate that the Most High hates. The same thing, because abomination is something filthy, wicked, and disgusting.
Con.
So when I found out myself that the Most High is not with smoking, with destroying my temple, defiling my temple, then I had to look at cigarettes the way the Most High look at cigarettes, because cigarettes destroy the temple.
My bad decisions destroy
You know what I'm saying?
Con.
Excessive drinking destroy the temple.
Con.
Drugs destroy the temple. You know what I'm
A
saying?
whole bunch of salt is all this.
Too much salt on the food. All these things
Con.
destroy the temple. Yeah.
Con.
But that's why the scripture say do all things in moderation. But when I learn how to hate and look at things that are no good, the same way that the Most High looks at things, then me and the Most High share the same judgment. Then it's disgusting to the Most High, now it's disgusting to me. And because it's disgusting to the Most High and it's disgusting to me, I won't do it no more. So you have to learn how to mirror your hate and adjust your hate and align your hate with what the Most High finds disgusting.
That's true.
If the Most High finds adultery disgusting, then I got to look at adultery as what? Disgusting. I got to look at it the same way as disgusting. Now, me and the Most High share the same judgment. We share the same decision making. That's how I get myself right with the Most High. I share that. Yes.
I was just gonna put a verse for that.
Go ahead.
It say Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 22. It say the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
It's what?
Not wisdom.
Go ahead. That's what break it down. Go ahead.
Neither at any time the counsel of sinners is basically, just talking about.
It's not good for me.
Yeah.
So the knowledge of so the Most High hates the knowledge of sinners. It's no good for you. So I'm going to get knowledge from people that sin, that know how to hit licks and do dirt, and I'm gonna get street knowledge, or I'm gonna be around people that have God's knowledge. Who do you want to be around? Because there's a lot of knowledge out there. There's all kind of street knowledge. You can go to jail or prison and become more knowledgeable when it comes to doing dirt. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And law. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you know how to do righteousness. There's all kind of knowledge out there. There's millions of books you can read. But how many books gives you God's knowledge that shows you how God thinks? That's what real knowledge is. I learned to think like the Most High. And that's what's really beneficial to us. What else you got?
Verse 24. Verse 24?
17?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the last one is 29. That's it.
Ecclesiastes 17 and 24.
Uh-huh.
But unto them that repent,
Unto them that do what?
repent.
Meaning that I'm making my daily focus being right with the Father. I'm trying to change my actions. I'm trying to take accountability for my negative. I'm looking at myself and saying, okay, listen, I am the problem. I'm also the solution. If I follow and lock into the book and into righteous mindsets and the good examples. Read.
He granted them return.
He did what?
Granted them return.
I'll extend your life a little bit longer than what it should be. Your actions say you should live this long. I'm extending your life a little bit longer. Read on.
And comforted those that failed in patience.
Or what? Fell to temptation. What's endurance? To continue in the same state without what? Perishing. So if I'm failing in patience, that just means I'm not enduring. Last not least, verse 29.
Ecclesiastes.
So God's
17.
trying to comfort those that are falling into temptation and give them a better, more strength. Read 29.
Ecclesiastes 17 and 29. How great is the loving kindness of the Lord our God.
So he's great in loving kindness. He's very kind because he leaves the door open for us to be better. He never cuts us off completely. We just put ourselves in really bad positions where we're far from the Father. We got a lot of work to do.
Yep.
Read on.
And his compassion,
His what?
compassion
Read on.
unto such as turn unto him in holiness.
So his compassion, he has compassion on those that want to turn to him in holiness. The word holy means sincere. It means true. So if I'm sincere about offending less, then he's going to look out for me.
Making change.
He's going to make more opportunities for me to re-strengthen and rehabilitate my spirit if I so desire. If I'm sincere about the pursuit. That was the point I wanted to make.
Matter of fact, so just to show how and demonstrate how sincere and compassionate and merciful the Most High is, go to the Josephus page 30 and read sentence 45. Josephus, you got it, y'all? Page 30, sentence 45. Josephus is a history book. Flavius Josephus was a historian who had access to a lot of history that coincided with the Bible, and he also had the Bible himself. Him being a Jew himself, had the knowledge and history of his people and the records of his people. So this is it's already up there. Yeah. So it's page 30 and read start at sentence 45. Sentence 45, page 30. This is a Josephus. This is a history book. And we'll get into that in a second, but I want to just get to the point.
Josephus, page 30, sentence 55. So chapter 2, paragraph 1, sentence 55.
Yep.
Whence it was that Cain was very...
No, verse sentence 45. It says, but when the Most High came into the garden.
Okay, you said 55.
45.
So 45, it says, we're on page 30. It says, but when the Most High came into the garden,
Read it loud.
Adam, who was wont before to come and converse with him.
It said that the kind of relationship that Adam and the Most High had, they always had a tight relationship. They would always talk. Every time the Most High's presence would enter into the garden, they always had a good conversation. It was built off of friendship. They would conversate often. Go ahead.
Being conscious of his wicked behavior.
But what happens when we do sin? We disconnect from the Most High, and then there's shame that comes upon us. Sometimes the shame tells us that we're not worthy.
Yeah, that's
We're not worthy of having a conversation with the Most High.
Condemnation.
We're not worthy of reading the Bible. We're not worthy of the sacrifices of Christ. We're no good. That a lot of times that's just shame talking, and that's that conscience, that paranoid conscience that comes over us. It's shame.
Come.
I don't think no good of myself. I don't think I'm worthy of the Most High listening to my prayers. Yes, sir.
So how do you pass that?
And we'll get a whole class on that. I like that question. How do you get past shame? That'll be the next class. How do you get past shame when you have done dirt? That's a great question, because that's a whole class within itself, and we'll get that next week.
It's 2-3 hours, bro.
Yeah, but it's okay. But we ain't gonna forget. I'm gonna write
No,
it
not
down.
bad way. We're going.
You know what I'm saying? How do you get past shame? I'm gonna write it down. So we're gonna teach that next week. How do you get past shame? I ain't gonna forget it. All right, but read on.
It says his wicked behavior went out of the way. This behavior surprised the Most High.
So now, this is one of the signs that the Most High knew that Adam had done something that he wasn't supposed to do, because it affected what? His relationship with the Most High. The first thing that gets affected when you do sin or do dirt is you affect your relationship with the Most High. You contaminate your relationship with the Father. And that's the first thing the Most High knew this. Read on.
And he asked, what was the cause of this procedure?
He said, why are you so quiet? This is what the Most High
Wow.
asking Adam, why are you so quiet? Before, you would always come and talk to me. Before, we would always have these conversations.
It's true.
Why are you so quiet? Read on.
And why he, that before delighted in that conversation, did now fly from it.
Now,
and avoid it.
why you not talking to me? You know what? You know when something ain't right with your kids. They get real distant. They get real quiet. You know something ain't right with your woman.
Fact.
She ain't as open. She's very short. Very short to the point. You like, what's wrong, baby? That make you mad? What I do? What's wrong? I'm laughing because you know what I'm saying. Some people do that. Baby, what's wrong?
Baby.
What's wrong? What happened? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She ain't talking to you no more. She ain't as talkative. You
Look,
she get that look. She's dishing cold shoulder. Something's wrong. You know something's wrong. This is what the Most High is telling Adam. Before you'd always talk to me. Now what's wrong? Why you so quiet? I perceive what?
he says, when he made no reply, as conscious to himself,
That's
Wow.
guilt. Guilt will keep a person from talking to the Most High. Shame, guilt, paranoia will keep you distant from the Father. That's from doing dirt. Read on.
it says, as conscious to himself that he had transgressed the command of the Most High. The Most High said, I had before determined about you both.
Now, this is the way it was supposed to be. If you want to know how we were supposed to live, this is how the Most High originally had life set up. This is an explanation of how your life was supposed to go. You want to know how your life was supposed to go? This is what he's about to tell Adam. Read on.
How you might lead a happy life.
What was supposed? Why did the Most High make you on this earth? You were supposed to live out of what?
A happy life.
Has life been happy? Probably not. Probably for the majority of us, probably not. We had some good times. May say we had some great times, but the majority of them ain't been so good. You know why? Because when you get around people, all they talk about is the high moments in life. Remember we did this? Remember when we was kids, we used to do this, throw rocks and do that. You know what I'm saying? Just always talk about the good, try to recite the good, but the majority of the time is what? Bad, man. Life was supposed to be happy. That's the first thing he's telling Adam. You were supposed to enjoy your life. You're supposed to have a happy life. Life be like hell now. Read on.
It says, without any affliction.
And you weren't supposed to catch affliction. You weren't supposed to go through problems. You weren't supposed to go through project living. And the things that come from project living. Food stamps, welfare, Section 8, housing, handouts. You know what I'm saying? Getting broken into, burglarized, raped, robbed, murdered, killed. You weren't supposed to experience this. Read on.
Without any affliction.
You were supposed to live a happy life with no problems. That's how the Most High originally set up life. Read on.
And care.
And you weren't supposed to be worried about nothing. Now you always worried. You always worried how rent's gonna get paid. You worried how bills gonna get paid. If you gonna get a better job. You worry about your kids. You worry about everything, every damn thing. What's gonna happen with this coronavirus? Now you're worried about everything. Because you don't know what's gonna happen. Everybody worried about the election. Everybody worried about something. Read on.
It says, and vexation of soul.
Now your soul is not at ease. You can't get sleep. There's no peace in your life.
You're driving down the street and you wonder, and the cop come over, am I gonna be the next thing on YouTube? Am I gonna be the next thing in the news? Am I gonna get choked out? Am I gonna get XYZ? Am I gonna get shot?
Right. You're going to be targeted. You're going to be shooken down. You know. Read on.
And that all things which might contribute to your enjoyment and pleasure.
The Most High made all the things on the earth for us to do what? To enjoy and with pleasure. We're supposed to watch the animals play, watch birds fly, watch birds sing. We're supposed to be living a happy life, enjoying each other,
Enjoying conversation.
enjoying family, enjoying friends, not slapboxing in the street at 9:30. You know what I'm saying? Doing dumb stuff, man. Not initiating ourselves in gangs, getting put down. We're gonna jump you in. Yeah, you're gonna get stomped out. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't how life's supposed to be. Read on.
It says, and pleasure should grow up by my providence.
And the Most High was gonna take care of everything that we need to survive. I was gonna take care of your food. I was gonna take care of your house. I was gonna take care of your family. I was gonna take care of your living. I was gonna take care of your well-being. Everything that pertains to you having a good life, the Most High was gonna be there for our assistance.
True.
Read on.
Of their own accord, without your own labor.
He said you didn't have to work for nothing. Now you gotta work how? Like a dog. You gotta work like a dog now. Just to be able to have something. Or be able to own something. A lot of us don't own nothing. A lot of us got stuff in our mama names and our grandma names. A lot of us don't really own nothing. Don't really have nothing. And we really don't have nothing to really pass down to our children. But that's not how it was supposed to be. Read on. We know we pass down debt. That's what we pass down. Bills. Who's going to pay grandma taxes? Because if not, they're going to take the house. Grandma worked 30 years to keep this house, and now nobody want to pay the taxes. Now the damn county gonna take it, repossess it, foreclose on it. That's how we live. Who's gonna step up and pay the bills like Grandma did and take care of the family? Man, the Most High said, I took care of everything for you. Read on.
It says, without your own labor and painstaking.
Go ahead.
Which state of labor and painstaking?
Because now that you got to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs,
True.
8 hours, 10 hours, or you got to find a job,
Come.
you got to get a job. Now you got to work your butt off to
A
survive.
job for
It
a
says
job.
work does nothing but what? Read on.
It says, with state of labor and painstaking would soon bring on old age.
What does working every day do?
Bring on old age.
What does working hard do every day?
Soon bring on old age.
Yeah, it pays bills, but guess what it's doing to your flesh? It's wearing you out. It's wearing you out. That's why, you know, in 20 years of working hard, now you can barely walk. Your knees give in. Your ligaments, you're taking vitamins because your ligaments ain't strong. You're trying to take supplements. You're trying to take, you know what I'm saying, all kind of drinks, power drinks. I'm living off damn Monsters and Red Bulls and full. I'm energy drink, coffee and energy drink in the day, and TV by night. Trying to calm my mind. Watch TV. Watch the new episode. Trying to drift off and daydream. Yeah, I'm saying I'm doing something. Melatonin, I'm doing something. I'm on something every day to sustain myself. Because I'm breaking down. Your body wasn't made to break down so soon. He said, or work wasn't even supposed to. You weren't even supposed to be working as hard as you do. Read on.
And death would not be at any remote distance.
And you know what? And when you work hard every day, that's great. You did good. You take care of your family. But guess what? You're working yourself to death. You weren't supposed to work yourself to death. So for those that think I'm supposed to be a man and work myself to death, because that's how I used to think. As long as I take care of my kids, as long as I pay my bills, I didn't care what I was doing to myself. But nobody's going to say I was a bad father. Nobody can say I was a bad husband or I wasn't a good provider because I worked my ass off. I take pride in working hard. But guess what? That's not how life was set up. You weren't supposed to work that damn hard. You weren't supposed to maintain 3 jobs. You weren't supposed to be pulling an 18-hour shift. It's only 24 hours in a day. You're not supposed to be working 7 days a week. He said that type of lifestyle would bring you closer to death. It is pushing you to the grave. You are working yourself to death. That's not how life was supposed to be. That's something we tell ourselves. That life is supposed to be this way. No, it's not. You're supposed to be enjoying your life. You working so damn hard, you got the bills paid, but you don't even see your kids grow up. You know what raised them? Xbox, PS3, PS4, PS5, video game consoles are raising your children.
Anime too.
Social media, TikTok, Snapchat is raising your children.
Netflix.
Instagram is raising your children.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got bills paid, but you have no supervision. You have no guidance. You have no awareness of what your children are entertaining. What good was it? All that hard work for what? Nothing. Read on.
It says, and now thou hast abused this.
He said, but you abuse when we sin and disconnect from the life that the Most High originally had us set up to enjoy. He said, we abuse what?
This, my goodwill.
It was the Most High's goodwill that we were supposed to enjoy life. The reason why life isn't so good right now is because we've been abusing his mercy. We've been abusing his goodwill. He gave us the earth. He gave us life to be enjoyed, to be made happy, to have tranquility, to have peace of mind, not to have warrants.
Yeah.
Not to be running from the law.
Not to be riding dirty.
Not to be riding dirty.
God.
He gave us this life to be enjoyed. But in life, there seems like there's only a few people really enjoying life. And it's not us. And we never understand why life for us is not happy. But this is why it's not happy. He says, because you abused my goodwill. You weren't obedient to my commandments. This is what the Most High told Adam. This is why the Most High had to curse him. Read on.
It says, abuse this, my goodwill, and has disobeyed my command.
And this is why your life has to now be cut down from 900, 800, 700. Now you're down to 120. In the Apocrypha we read that man could barely make it 100. Now go to Psalms 90 and 10. Go to Psalms chapter 90 verse 10. Hold that. No, hold that.
Psalm 90 and 10.
Whoever got it, bro.
Whoever got it. Psalms 90 and 10. Read that.
Psalms chapter 90, verse 10 reads, the days of our years are 80 years and 10.
He says, the days of our years are what?
80 years and 10.
So we went from living 900 plus years down to 120 in Genesis 6 and also in Ecclesiastes down to 100. And now in Psalms, he says the days of our years are what?
80 years.
He said 80 years and what?
And 10.
And 10.
A score is 20, right? So what's 3 times 20? 60. 60 plus 10 is what?
7.
So the Bible is telling us that our life went from 900 plus years down to 120 years due to sin and disobedience, down to 100. If you could make it, now the Most High has reduced man's life down to what?
80 years and 10.
It says you got about 70 years to make something shake on this earth. And what I mean by make something shake, that means you got about 70 years to make the best life you can make. You don't got a lot of time. I'm already 43. Half of that 70 is over. I'm 8 years past that half. My life is more than halfway over. That means I don't got a lot of time left. And if you're younger than me, and take it from me, 20 years go by like this. And I take that from people older than me. 20 years fly by like this before you can snap a finger and 20 years go by. 25 years go by like nothing. You may think you have time. You may think you have all the time in the world to not get yourself together. You don't. You don't have as much time as you think you do. That's why it says man's life is now cut down to what?
80 years and 10.
So by this notion, by this equation, my life is halfway over. By this equation. Read on.
And if by reason of strength,
And if I take care of myself, if I eat healthy, if I drink healthy, if I go into at least some type of preservatives, or of preserving myself through healthy eating, and also I cut away from sinning. I reduce my sins.
Vices, yeah.
I reduce my offenses that I do towards the Most High. If by reason of strength, and we know the scriptures say strength coming from where? Strength coming from heaven. If I'm good enough in the eyes of the Most High, I could get to what? Read on.
they be 80 years.
A score is 20, so 20 times 4 is what?
80.
So if the Most High has enough mercy on me, I'd be lucky to get to what? 80 years old. Why is the Most High cutting man's life down? Because it's the way that man lives. It's his lifestyle. We didn't even know that our lifestyle is the cause of the Most High reducing our years on earth. It's the sins that we do.
Trying to be rock stars, huh?
Yeah, we're trying to live. We're trying to be cool.
Come on.
Read on.
Yet is their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away.
It says, read that one more time.
Yet is their strength labor and sorrow.
And the whole time that I get to 70, if I'm lucky to get 70, I have a lot of family members that didn't make it out of their 50s. And that's the truth. And part of the reason is because the life they was living in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? The lifestyle they had in the 70s is why they didn't make it out of their 50s. You know? Peace and love. Peace, love, and hair grease. That fast living, free love, drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, whatever that disco era produced, cocaine era, the crack era, whatever that era produced, it also produced a high mortality rate to where a lot of them didn't make it out of their 50s. Rarely do I get a family member of a funeral that I go to and they were 80 plus years old. Rarely. Right. Right, exactly. I have friends that died of liver failure, kidney failure or had heart attacks in their 30s. And that's the truth. Because of what we were doing in our teens. Because all the parties we were going to, all the fun we were so-called having,
Burned out.
burn their organs out, burn the kidneys out, burn the heart out. Been to those funerals too. And they're only in their 30s. How is 30 an old man? How is 30 at the end of your life? You should be they say a man is not even in the peak of his strength until he hits 30 years old. That's when a man is in the peak of his strength. That's when the mind is caught up to the body and he can push himself to even further heights. He has self-control. He can push his body and control his body more in the 30s. That's when a man is maxed out in his testosterone production. Now we're going to damn testosterone clinics. Now we're getting shots to boost testosterone because we ain't producing it no more. You don't produce testosterone. You don't produce manliness, manly hormones. That means you don't produce vitality. What that actually means, people think that because my sex drive leaves, I don't have a sex drive, that, you know what, that's the biggest problem. No, it's not. The problem with the fact that you're not producing testosterone is a form of, is a sign that you are dying. That's a sign that your body isn't producing the things necessary to give it vitality, to give it strength. That means your body is actually dying if you're taking testosterone boosters or hormone boosters. That means you're on the downward spiral. It's not the problem about me not having no sexual control. Not only that, but you're dying. So, you know what the Most High is showing us? Life wasn't supposed to be this way. We're supposed to have a good life. But he said, by the time we hit 70 or 80, life is going to be full of what? Read that again.
Yet is there strength, labor, and sorrow.
It said, and there's going to be strength. You're going to be strong. You're going to work hard. And then there's going to be some sorrow. You know why? Because your body can't last forever. So what you do to it is important. What you do to your body is important. How and what's the best thing you can do is serve the Most High. Because he has the power to prolong life. He has the power to prolong your days. You want to see your kids grow up. You want to see your grandchildren grow up. You want to see them graduate high school. You want to see them drive their car, they get their first car and drive. You want to see them get their first driver's license. You want to see that. You want to go to their wedding. You want to go to their quinceañera, their barbecue, birthday party, sweet 16. You want to see them hit these milestones in their life. You don't want your kid going to your funeral at 18 years old because you can't get out of 40. Because you burn yourself out by 40. So they're 18 having to be the father or the man of the house. Or they're 18 and they got to be the mother of the house. Because we didn't understand why the Most High would cut our life down so short. That's it. That's a major issue. Major issue. Read on.
For it is soon cut off, and we fly away.
So now go back to Josephus, page 32. Back to Josephus. Page 34. I'm sorry. Josephus, page 34. In the Josephus, page 34. Book 1, chapter 3.
Can somebody cut their mic off in Zoom land?
We're in page 34. Man. That's all right. They can hear. They can hear. Yeah, page 34 in Josephus, book 1, chapter 3. And go to let me see. Hold on.
We're in page 13.
Yeah, I know, but I want to jump. I want to jump up. I want you to go to page 34, start at paragraph 9.
Josephus, page 34, paragraph 9, line 104.
Now, before we read that, go back to Genesis 6 so we can catch up on this point. Go back to Genesis 6 real quick. Whoever had Genesis 6. If somebody, if we don't know, somebody read it. Genesis 6 and read verse 3.
Genesis 6 and 3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with men.
He said, man, I'm not going to let these men live 900 years no more. Why did the Most High stop letting us live so long? Read on.
For that he also is flesh.
Read.
Yet his days shall be 120 years.
The curse of disobedience, the first thing that the Most High did was curse what? Our time. He cut your time down. He cut your time off. Yeah, I got you. He cut your time off. That's the first thing the Most High did, and that's what the Most High does. He takes your life and he makes it even smaller than what it should be. That's the first thing that he does when we're out of pocket with the Most High. We're not living in accordance to his laws. Jump down to verse 5.
Genesis 6 and 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
So that's why the Most High had to cut man's life down. He said, man, all they keep doing is wickedness. All they keep doing is searching after pleasure. They don't want to follow me. They want to follow themselves. So the Most High, the next cause of action is to cut a man's days down. Read on.
And that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
All man keep thinking about is what satisfies his flesh. All we do is chase pleasure. We chase a feeling. We chase a good moment, good feeling, a rush. That's all we're looking for. The next high, the next feel good. That's all we care about. He said, so because of that is why the Most High said it caused him to have to shorten our time down. Read on.
And it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
Now, did the Most High find joy in having to cut our time down? No. It said it grieved the Most High that
Wow.
that
Bothered him, huh?
It bothered him. It bothered him that he had to cut
Wow.
our time down on earth.
You want to enjoy us more.
He made us, he created us
Wow.
so we can live long and enjoy life. It bothered him to have to cut our time
That's
down.
crazy.
Doesn't it bother you when you have to whoop your kids? You don't want to see your kids cry. You don't want to see your kids scream. That's not something you want to see, but you got to do it because you love them. And you don't want to see them hurt themselves. You don't want them to go out in the world and hurt themselves. So you rather them learn the repercussion now than learn it later in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's all the Most High is saying. Listen, I'm going to bring you back to me. So that's all the Most High doing is cutting that time down. So now let that go and go back to Josephus where we was at in paragraph 9 on page 34.
Page 34, paragraph 9, sentence 104. Now, when Noah had lived 350 years after the flood.
Now Noah was a man that found grace and mercy in the sight of the Most High. Go ahead.
And that all that time happily he died, having lived the number of 950 years.
How was Noah's life?
900.
No,
Oh,
he said
happily.
he lived happily. Noah was obedient to the Most High. And because he was obedient, he said he lived out a happy life. And he lived how long?
950 years.
Not Noah lived when we read the story of Noah in kindergarten, he had the ark, he had all the animals on the ark. But we don't talk about why he lived long and why he lived long. Read on.
But let no one, upon comparing the lives of the ancients with our lives, and with the few years which we have now lived.
It says you can't compare how the ancients of the Bible lived compared to our simple 60, 70, 80 years old, 90, 100 years old. We're lucky to get to over 80 to 100. Read on.
Think that we have said of them is false.
He says, don't think we're lying because we told you that the ancients of the Bible lived 900 plus years, up to 1,000 years, almost 1,000 years. He said, don't take what we're saying as false. Read on.
Or make the shortness of our lives at present an argument that neither did they attain to so long a duration of life.
He said, we can't argue about the time that the Most High gave them versus the short little bit of time that we have that the Most High has given us. Why is there no comparison with our short 60, 70 something years old lifespan compared to their 950, 969, 937 years they lived on the earth? Read on.
For those ancients were beloved of the Most High.
Because they were what?
Beloved of the Most High.
So if you yourself can learn from them, the reason why they lived so long is because the Most High did what?
Love them.
The Most High loved them. because they found favor in the eyes of the Most High. Hold this and go to back to Genesis real quick, chapter 6, since we're talking about Noah, and verse 6 and 8.
Genesis 6 and 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
Now we all can learn something from this story. That if I find grace from the Most High, then maybe the Most High will extend my life also. Each and every one of us should be looking for that favor or that grace or that kindness that the Most High has to offer. And that kindness and that grace that the Most High has to offer is in our repentance. He said the Most High gives grace to who? Somebody read that real quick. But resist to who? Somebody read that.
Resist the proud.
Yeah, but read it. How can we find grace today? The same way Noah found grace that allowed him to live 950 years old.
James 4 and 6.
Somebody read that. James chapter 4, verse 6.
And 1 Peter 5 and 5.
James chapter 4, verse
Individual.
6. It says, "But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, the Most High resisteth the proud."
So who would the Most High have a problem with?
The proud.
The proud is somebody that's in their opinion that is undecided about change. They still feel like the way they're going in life is right. They still feel that what they're doing in life is right. They're still battling right from wrong. And they haven't made a decision yet in order to let go of negative. It's somebody that's still thinking that what they're doing in their life is okay. That's somebody that the Most High said he will be against. But who will the Most High be for? Who will the Most High support? Who will the Most High give backup to? Read on.
But giveth grace unto the humble.
If I'm humble, you know what it means to be humble? To take away the thoughts that I have that I know what I'm doing with my life. That's what it means to be humble. To admit that I don't know what I'm doing with my life. So let me live after Christ and the Most High so he can do something productive with my life. Because I don't know what I'm doing. That's humility. I don't really know or understand the direction that I need to be going in my life. I keep making mistake upon mistake upon mistake. If somebody that's prideful will not stop. But somebody that's humble will say, you know what? Let the Most High lead me. Come and take over the steering wheel because I don't know what the hell I'm doing in my life. That's somebody that's humble. And if I'm humble, the Most High said he'll give me what? Grace.
Grace.
Grace is kindness, friendship, and mercy. That's what I get from the Most High when I let the Most High steer my life. When I let the Most High be the pilot in my life. I stop trying to control my life.
What's grace?
Grace is kindness, friendship, and mercy. It's favor. It's favor in the eyes of the Most High. That means it's the Most High's support. He will support me. But then by definition,
it says courteous goodwill. It says a condition or fact of being favored by someone.
it's the Most High's favor. That means the Most High will support everything that I do. When before, the Most High was against everything that I do. Now the Most High will be for everything I do. Now the Most High will support me in my changes. But first, the Most High got to see some humility. Do you have enough humility to allow yourself to be led by somebody? Or do you want to keep controlling your life and going nowhere? Or do you want to keep being the pilot behind your ship and navigating your ship? Or will you let the Most High navigate the ship? Because matter of fact, oh man, I gotta get this. It's in the Apocrypha. Read this real quick in the Apocrypha. Man, this is read Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 1 and 2. Read Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha chapter 33, verse 1 and 2. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33.
And let everybody get it. Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, and we're verse 22. It's in the little red book. The little red book is the Apocrypha. And it's on page 90. Read Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 1 and 2. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord.
It says what?
There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord.
So when I gain the Most High's favor, or I gain the Most High's grace, or his mercy, or his kindness, then I don't have to worry about what? Evil. I don't got to worry about bad things happening to me. Because now the Most High is going to take care of me. Now the Most High is going to look after me. He's going to watch out for me. I don't got to watch my own back. The Most High is going to watch my back. The Most High is going to make sure everything grows and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen so that I can enjoy my life. It says there shall no fear come upon him that what?
Feareth the Lord.
Read on.
But in temptation.
And even because I gain the Most High's favor, even when temptation comes around me. Read on.
Even again, he will deliver him.
The Most High is going to come through for me even when I'm being tempted. Even when I'm put in a position where I'm vulnerable, I'm susceptible to falling or failing or making a mistake, the Most High is going to give me a way out. We know that from 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, right? Somebody read that. Just read it. Write it down and somebody read it. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
Read that.
There have no temptation taken you, but such as common to man.
Everybody goes through temptation. Everybody's going to be susceptible to falling. Somebody's going to have peer pressure or something to give to you that's going to make you fall. Or you're going to be in an arena that's caused you to be weak. Everybody's going to be in that situation. Read on.
But God is faithful,
But when I put my trust in the Most High, read on.
who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
The Most High will never put me in a situation, if I trust him, to where I can never say no. The Most High will always give me that power to say no. He will always give me that control to say, nah, I resist. I don't want it. No, thank you. Or even to myself. I'm good. I don't need this. Read on.
But will with the temptation
But with the temptation, read on.
also make a way to escape.
The Most High will always leave me an exit. If I fear the Most High, there will always be an exit. When the building is burning down, I will always be able to find the stairs. When I can't take the elevator and I can't jump out the window, I will always be able to find the exit. He said that's what happens when you trust the Most High and you decide to put the Most High in control of your life. He will allow you an opportunity to not be vulnerable to your temptations. You just have to look for the exit. You have to be able to find the exit. There is a way out of this. But let that go and finish reading that. Go back to 33 and 1 and 2.
Well, one again.
No, read verse 2 now.
Ecclesiastes 33 and 2. A wise man hateth not the law.
So now the law is what gives my life order. When I follow the laws of the Most High, it gives my life order. It gives my life structure.
Discipline.
It gives my life discipline. That's the beauty of following and being obedient to the laws of the Most High. I now have structure in my life. I now have guidance in my life. But read on.
But he that is an hypocrite therein.
But I don't know. But a hypocrite is somebody that I'm telling people to do right. I'm telling people to change. But what?
Is as a ship in the storm.
But I'm like a what?
Ship in the storm.
Like, because I'm undecided. It said, until I decide to serve the Most High, my life will always be like a ship in a what?
Storm.
And have you ever seen a ship in a storm?
Yeah, a place to be. Right?
Who's getting tossed around? Is the ship winning? Or is the ship losing? The ship is losing, bro. You know, it's Mayday, man.
Yeah.
You ever seen somebody in the damn ship in a storm? They're yelling for help. Mayday, Mayday. We have 90-foot wave. We have swells that are 80 feet. We're taking water overboard. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is our coordinates. We're 180 degrees off the coast of Florida. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Mayday, you're not going to win. You're going to live a life of Mayday. Mayday, 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 I'm falling. We're sinking. We're taking water. We only got 12 rafts and we got 30 people on board. You know what? That's how you live your life when you don't let the Most High control your life. You're going to live a life of being tossed around, thrown around, like a ship in a storm.
Emergency
Because
after
you haven't
emergency.
decided to let the Most High take control of your life. When you decide to let the Most High take control of your life, those storms go away. You can get through those storms. You can ride those storms. You make it out of those storms. But you have to make a decision to let the Most High take control of your life. Steer your life. Yes, sir.
And, James 1 and 8.
Go ahead.
James 1 and 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Break it down.
So if you don't keep your focus on the Most High, and you're being distracted by
Influences.
influence from the outside, then you're not ever going to be able to make that balanced decision, that right decision, because you're always going to have these other options. You have these other agendas, so they're always going to thwart your mind frame of the direction that you really that you should be going.
Right.
You're always going to have these other channels that are going to try to pull you and draw you away. So if you can stay focused and single-minded, focused on one thing, and not be distracted by these outside influences, then you'll make these right decisions. You won't be unstable, but rather stable. You'll be focused and balanced.
Since you're in James, read chapter 4, verse 8.
James 4 and 8 reads, draw nigh to God.
And so if I do want a balanced life, if I do want a life that's not like a ship tossed in a storm, going back and forth like a storm, then what's the smartest thing I could do? Draw what?
Draw nigh to God.
Draw nigh. Nigh means close or near. So the best thing I can do in my life is to draw close to God. If I don't want my life to be thrown around like a ship in the sea, in a storm, in a damn hurricane. Right? Read on.
And he will draw nigh to you.
What does he say?
And he will draw nigh to you.
Here's the beauty of the Father. If you choose to come close to the Most High, he'll do what? He'll come close to you. The Most High is not unfair. He's not unfair. And he's not that far away to where he cannot come to you. It's just about he's waiting for you to make a decision. The decision is yours. You can have an unstable life, like you read in James chapter 1, verse 8, or you can have a life of peace and tranquility, and your life can be smooth sailing. That's where they get that word from, smooth sailing. The water is beautiful. The water is calm, and my sail is behind me, and I'm just coasting. I'm coasting on smooth water. That's how life's supposed to be. Or you can have a troubled life. But that's based upon you making a decision whether you want to come to serve the Most High or not. He said, draw near unto me. Go ahead.
And he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands.
He said, do what?
Cleanse your hands.
What does it mean to draw close to the Most High?
To cleanse your hands.
So that means you got to clean up your act. Your hands are what you partake in. Your hands they represent a few things. They represent what you touch, what you give yourself to. Your hands also are known as your strength or your power. So it's what you give your strength to. That's what you touch. So if you touch something, work. You're giving your strength to work. You're doing work. You whether it's a shovel, whether it's laying brick, or whatever it is, cutting trees, your hands represent your strength or your power. It's what you give your strength to. So he says, whatever you've been doing or you've been giving your strength to, he said, clean it up. Clean up what you give your strength to. Whatever you were doing before, don't do it no more. That's why I said, cleanse your what?
Cleanse your hands.
Go ahead.
Ye sinners.
Ye what?
Ye sinners.
So if I want to draw close to the Most High, then something has to change. And what has to change is I gotta stop doing sin. But I gotta also learn what sin is, because a lot of us don't even know what sin is. What is sin? The camera moved. It's all right. It's still on point. What is sin? First John what? 3 and 4. Somebody get that. It says stop doing sin. If I want to draw close to the Most High, then I gotta stop doing sin. What is sin? Go to 1 John chapter 3 verse 4. I believe it's 3 and 4. Read that. Yeah. 1 John 3 and 4. Whoever got it, read it. Yeah, read it.
Whosoever committeth sin, transgressive also the law.
So sin is breaking the laws of God. That means if I want to cleanse my hands and I want to draw close to the Most High, I got to stop breaking his laws. I got to start following his laws. And there's over 613 laws in the Bible. So that means I got to start reading the Bible. I got to start reading the Bible to know what the laws of God are. Because if I don't even know his laws, how can I stop doing something I don't know what I'm doing wrong? I got to first learn what are God's laws so that I can follow them and not do those things against his laws or committing sin, which is to break the laws of God in order to come to the Most High. So the Most High requires me to draw near to him. I have to put away of breaking of his laws. And we'll save that for another class about the laws of God. What are the laws of God? We'll save that.
I got one more scripture.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Psalms 147 verse 19 and Leviticus 10 and 11. Yeah. 147 verse 19 and Leviticus 10 and 11. It's because we got new spirits.
147.
Verse 19. 147 verse 19.
147, verse 19.
Yeah.
He sheweth his word unto Jacob.
So God shows his word or the Bible to who?
Jacob.
Jacob is the forefather of the Israelites. All right. Everybody comes from somebody. Everybody comes from somebody. Nobody just woke up and just no father just showed up on the earth. Right? Read on.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
So judgment is the consequence of breaking the law, or in effect. What was the consequence of us as a nation sinning? Going from 900 years to what? 120, right? All the way to 70. That was the judgment. That was that was the product or the effect of what happens by breaking laws. But who did he give his laws to?
Israel.
Israel. So God gave his laws and commandments to who? The Israelites. This sign that kind of came off the wall. The so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Central Americans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, Brazilians, Argentinians, and so-called Mexicans of Latino, Native American, all right, now Latino,
Negroid.
Native, Negroid descent,
Mm-hmm.
Indian descent. Those are the real Jews. When you look at TV, you see those people on TV, the white guys. Oh, Hitler got us. He got us. Those aren't the real Jews. The real Jews are living in hell, going through problems, getting shot by police, being persecuted at the border, going to ICE, first fired, last hired, or not getting paid for real, or they can't afford medical insurance. They're the majority population that has to take care of the nation, but they get the least benefits as a bloodline, as a nationality, as a people. So being a Hebrew Israelite is not a religion. We're not pushing religion. This Bible is a history book of our people, the Jews, the Latinos, the Negroes, Native Americans, the Negroids, right? So-called Negroids, those are white terms, right? The point we're getting to is these people come from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar. These are our biblical names. These names on the other side of the board came in the 1500s when Columbus came by, when the Spanish, Dutch, French, Portuguese came through. They renamed us and gave us slave names. So Negro is a slave name. West Indian is a slave name. Dominican is a slave name. The word Dominican comes from the word Domingo. Domingo means Sunday. It's the Sunday people. The people that only exist on Sunday, and the rest of the week they disappear. That don't make any sense. Argentinian. The word Argentinian means a Latin word Argentinum. It means the silver people. Argentina means silver. So these are the people that give us a lot of silver. Yes, sir.
Would you say that these are the races where us as man decided to make color as general labels for races? Because I've gone through many different books, I've never seen black as a race.
Black is not a race. You're right about that. Black does not.
I've never seen white as a race.
Nobody's the color white and nobody's the color black. When you read the Bible, you're gonna find we have more classes, but when you come back through, we have a whole class that shows color in the Bible and the color of people in the scriptures. The whole
And their nationality.
and their nationality. We're just simply pointing out that these laws and these statutes and commandments that make us live longer as a people, they were given to the Israelites. All right? That's the last point. Leviticus 10:11, I'm done.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Leviticus chapter 10.
Just to
verse 11.
establish that for the new spirits. Yeah.
Leviticus chapter 10, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
It says, "And that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord."
So we're the
spoke."
children of Jacob. We're the children of Israel. So how do we get so far off as a people? We stopped teaching these laws, these commandments to our children. So it had an effect. Read on.
You know what we teach them? We teach them Halloween.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of our kids gonna be in costumes this year. This in a few weeks, a lot of these children of Israel are gonna be in all kind of Batman, superhero, goons, goblins, ghosts, demons, warlords, witches, sorcerers. You know what I'm saying? All kind of costumes. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be celebrating some type of wickedness or Sam Hain holiday to recognize the wicked spirits that come out in the fall. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of our people don't even know that this is an abomination in the eyes of the Most High. It's for the kids. What about the kids? Trick or treat. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna find.
Making that fun.
Yeah, so it's a fun day for the kids. But you know what? That has nothing to do with righteousness. It has nothing to do with the commandments of the Most High. That's not a commandment of the Most High. Neither is it a high holy day that the Most High said that we should follow. So a lot of us are disconnected from the Bible. And that's what Dawiyah is bringing out, is the fact that we don't even know who we are in the Bible, that we're responsible for maintaining the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Father. We break them by default by just being American citizens. Just being an American doesn't teach us the laws of the Most High. So even if I'm just an American citizen, I work, I pay my bills, I'll still be disconnected from the Most High. Because nobody's ever taught me that I'm supposed to follow after laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's what sin is. Sin is the breaking of these laws. So if I want to come close to the Most High, then I got to stop breaking these laws. I got to stop breaking these commandments. This is how I draw near, or I draw close to the Most High. And we was in Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 2, right? Read that one more time.
Ecclesiastes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 32?
Yep. Verse 33, verse 2. And then, yeah, you had it.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 2. It says, "A wise man hateth not the law, but he that is an hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm.
Read on.
A man of understanding trusteth in the law."
It says, if I'm a man of understanding, if I want to be right with the Most High, I trust in what the Bible's telling me. I follow after the commandments of the Most High. I believe in what I'm reading as truth. Go ahead.
"And the law is faithful unto him as an oracle."
And an oracle means it will predict what's going to happen. It will tell me how to escape trouble, how to get out of trouble, how to evade problems, how to live my best life, so to speak. So that's what an oracle does. It gives me an idea or a premonition of what the future holds. You know what I'm saying? And another definition of oracle is divine communication.
Wow. So I don't need Cleo. I don't need
Right.
I don't need psychics,
I don't need psychics. I don't need tarot cards. I don't need palm readers. I don't need none of these things.
crystal balls, none of that.
Yeah. 8 balls, crystal balls. I don't need none of these things. The most divine communication is the Most High talking to me directly. That's what the law does when I study the laws of the Most High. That's him talking to me directly. Yes.
Why he says in Isaiah 34:16.
We can read it.
Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
Break it down.
He tells you to seek. If you're trusting in him, you're trusting in everything that you read, you're trusting in everything you study, you're trusting to follow that he's not going to fail. And if you're trusting in his words, then you believe also what it says. And so if you can go to these scriptures, you always recollect on these scriptures when you're going through the situations that you're going through. These are the things that give you strength, because you'll see the situations play out in the scriptures and you refer to them. And so when somebody can ask you, well, why do you believe that? I can even go to the verse that tells me that this won't fail. He tells you, if you seek out the book of the Lord and you read, then you can trust in these words, because they'll never fail you. You'll never go wrong. So once you start putting these scriptures into practice in your life, and you start acting out the words that you're reading and believing in it, because when you believe in something, you do it. You know, if you believe this chair is going to hold you when you go sit down, you don't sit there and shake it and check and make sure it's stable first. You trust in that chair, so you sit in it. You don't worry about it. So when you're reading these scriptures and you believe in the Most High, that trust means you're going to follow it. You're not going to sit there and question. You're going to trust that what the Most High says is true. He says that none shall want her mate. You're not going to find any book that can even compare, tell you the past, your future, your present, tell you who you are. No other book is going to be able to match this. And that's the confidence you have when you're reading it and you're trusting that this is more than just a book. This is your life. This is your history. You know, and so you also trust that these words came from the Most High. So it's not, you're not just following blind, because we all have this concept that there's a God, there's a higher power. So we know that, okay, if you gave this to me, then I know I'm doing right. And this isn't going to fail me. I'm going in the right direction. No one else can tell you. We know that the Most High is above all. So we know that we can trust the direction that we're going if we follow the scriptures. That's just kind of what I know.
God, last verse. Because do we pretty much understand now why man's life was cut down? Because that was the question that we had from the beginning of class, and that's what we wanted to answer. You know, so just to reiterate, man's life was originally 900 plus years old. Due to sin and due to rebellion and disobedience, man's life got cut down to 120 in Genesis chapter 6, and then from 120, man's life got cut down to 100 because of disobedience and rebellion. And then man's life got cut down even shorter to 70 to 80 years old if you're lucky, if you're strong enough. So it was to answer the question, and I think we answered the question of why man's life got cut down so short. And the Most High is waiting for us to return back to him in humility, not in pride, but in humility and in grace. Just like Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High, and that grace is that favor, that kindness, and that mercy. And that happens, that we gain that from the Father through humility, by allowing somebody to steer our lives, not trying to be in control of our lives, not trying to be the captain of our own ship. We do that by drawing near to the Most High, and he said that he would draw near to us. So there's humility involved, which means that I have to relinquish control. I have to give the Most High control over my life in order for me to live the long, extended life with happiness and joy that I was intended to live. All right. So I know we talked about a lot, but hopefully it was a lot of understanding of why the Most High shortened us like this, but how can we get our life extended? All right. So last verse, let's go to Ephesians chapter 4 and let's read verse 14. Ephesians chapter 4.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14.
Start at verse 12.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 12.
Go ahead.
It says, for the perfecting of the saints.
So the reason why we read the law and why we read the Bible is for what?
The perfecting of the saints.
Us being the saints of the Most High, because the children of Israel are his saints. You can read that in Psalms 148. I believe it's 148. So we said we're verse 2, I think. Psalm 148, verse 2. But we can go there just to be, be sure. But he says we read the Bible for the perfecting of what?
The saints.
And who are the saints of the Most High? We got to go ahead and read it. Psalms 148, verse...
Yeah, verse 14.
Verse 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psalms 148,
Verse
verse
13.
14. He also exalted the horn of his people,
Yep.
the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
Who are the saints of the Most High?
Children of Israel.
God's saints, his true worshipers, his true disciples and true believers are the children of Israel. Go ahead.
A people near unto him.
It's a people that the Most High has a special relationship with. We have an historically special relationship with the Father because, like Dawiyad brought out, the laws of the Most High were given to us. The laws of the Most High is a better way of thinking, a better way of conducting ourselves, a better way of behaving. So the Most High gave that way to us. He gave us a higher standard of living than other nations. Read on.
Praise ye the Lord.
And that's why the Most High deserves praise, because he loves us enough to give us a better way of living. The law is a different lifestyle that has a lot of ethical points in it, a lot of morality. There's a lot of virtue in following the laws. There's a lot of benefits to keeping the laws of God, and by it, we would naturally extend our lives by keeping the laws of the Most High.
Have
That's
a better quality life.
better quality of life. So this is the benefits of being an Israelite or a saint of the Most High. Now go back to where we had in Ephesians.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints.
And the Most High gave us the law so that we could be perfect. It could show us how to make changes in our life. That's why the law is so important. Read on.
For the work of the ministry.
Go ahead.
For the edifying of the body of Christ.
So the more we read the Bible, the more we read his laws, the more spiritually sharper we become. The word edify means to raise up spiritually, morally, and intellectually. You become a better person overall when you follow the commandments of the Most High. You become a better person. And the idea of becoming a better person is to be closer and closer to Christ. It's going to say that. Read on.
Till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High.
So now the reason why we get the law is so we can all learn to think like Christ, the Son of the Most High. The Most High gave us the law so we can learn to think like his Son. And we could operate like his Son operated. We can live life and behave and have discipline and self-control like Jesus Christ had. And we can have the charity that Jesus Christ had. We can have the selflessness that Jesus Christ had. We can have the compassion and the mercy that he possessed and the patience he possessed. The law provides these things. Read on.
Unto a perfect man.
Until what?
A perfect man.
Because only man that was perfect was Christ. But the law gives us that knowledge and that ability to reach that perfection. Read on.
Unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua.
Of who?
Christ.
Of Christ. Go ahead.
It says that we henceforth be no more children.
And the Most High said we're supposed to mature. When you lived your life according to how you wanted to live, the Most High looked at you like a child. Because a child is what? Read on.
Tossed to and fro.
Because a child is thrown about with whatever people tell them. You live your life based off your feelings. So because I feel good, I do this. Because I feel bad, I do this. So there's supposed to be a time when a man or a woman matures out of that childhood stage where you're just controlled by your emotions. You're controlled by your feelings. Or you're looking for what just makes you feel good. There's a time that you have to grow up to where now you're led by a better standard of living, which is the laws of the Most High, which makes you a better man or better woman. Read on.
And carried about with every wind of doctrine.
And not just believing what every religion tells you or what just every person tells you about the Bible. You have to learn the Bible for yourself. You have to learn the Bible for yourself, and then you have to change yourself according to what you read. That's the beauty of the Bible. That's the beauty of the Bible. One more verse, James chapter 1, verse 22. Let that go. Last verse. James chapter 1, verse 22.
James chapter 1 and verse 22.
Read that.
But be ye doers of the word.
Am I just supposed to read the Bible?
Doers of the word.
Am I just supposed to talk about the Bible?
Doers of the word.
Am I just supposed to tell people about the Bible?
Doers of the word.
What am I supposed to do?
Doers of the word.
I'm not only supposed to read the Bible or listen to the Bible. I have to learn or mature and grow up to learn how to do and perform what I'm reading. I have to learn how to execute the Bible. I have to learn how to take the Bible and what I'm reading and put it into action and perform what I'm reading. Read on.
And not hearers only.
And now what?
Not hearers only.
So growing up in Christ is going from a person that just listens to the Bible to a person that's actually living the Bible. And that's what the Most High wants out of all of us. And I'll leave it at that. So we'll save any other questions for next week. We have class again on Friday. But as far as the question that the brother asked, which was, how do you get past shame? We'll deal with that. And also, color in the Bible, we'll deal with that as well. Color or nationality in the Bible. We'll deal with that as a topic as well. But for as far as now, we'll go ahead and end class. And I hope it was edifying and everybody got some understanding. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
Amen.